And you should be live.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's stream. I realize I should probably have you open on my phone, so let me just do that. View my channel. There we are. We're live. Hello to the nearly 10 of you that are already here and watching and ready. How are you guys doing? We need to paint. Well, you get to do whatever you want, but I need to paint some Blood Bowl. Now, I want to start specifically because you can see that I have, I moved them out of screen instead of on the screen. There we go. You can see that I have a number of my linemen here ready to go. They're fully painted. They're done. The thing that needs to happen is I need to tuft these bad boys. Now, I have actually already tufted 2 of them. And, have you been conquered?
Yep.
He's been conquered, everybody. All right, let's see. It would help if you kept it on screen, Angela. There we go. So as you can see, I've already tufted this fella.
Oh, you know what? That camera's flipped upside down. Let me fix that.
Oh, okay. Of course. Yeah, I just realized it is. Here, give me the boy.
I can't.
Oh, you can't?
He's pinned me.
Brother,
I am pinned here.
Brother, you are pinned. Okay, hold on. I will save thee, brother. Okay. Do not worry. Do not worry. I am taking him. Brother, I have taken the hold on. The Xeno scoundrel.
Say, please don't trip over cables.
I will not. I was more tripping over myself. I have taken him. I have stolen him. Hello. Hello. Here we are. All right. I'll show you guys what I was doing in just a second. And first, we're going to get cuddle time. Yeah. Yeah, we're going to get cuddle time.
All right. There you go. Now it's flip right side up.
Oh, excellent. Would you like to go back to your dad now, bud? No? Yes? Maybe? Where are we going? Where are we going? Are you going to just be a cute fluff ball? Why is chat not showing up on my screen?
Don't know.
Probably because I didn't have it open.
That would explain it.
That would in fact explain it. Hello, Kits and Bits. Hello. I'm probably gonna butcher your name, sir, and I really apologize. Pyaktam? I think it's Russian and I'm not sure. Havman, hello. Okay, everybody. This is Jack. He is a very fluffy boy, but he's not what we need to focus on right now. So I'm going to give him back to the Chaos Cultist now.
What? But I was about to do things. I had important things to do.
Yeah, those important things include cuddling this cat.
Okay.
There you go.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Ow. Claws.
Oh no! But you see, he immediately went back to your shoulder. Because he loves you. He loves you so much more than he loves me.
It's because I'm fatter and he stands on my stomach.
Oh, that is not true! Good morning! Hello, John Williams! It's lovely to have you here. Hello, everybody. Okay, so as I was saying before we had to flip the camera. Okay, let's get him up here and then let's get him into focus. I'm going the wrong way.
You should probably use your little screen on the camera.
Oh, I should. It was just flipped the other way.
Well, I was setting things up.
That's fair. Okay, so there we go. Okay, so as you can see, I've done some tufting. I've used actually 4 different tufts, some short grasses and long grasses in the same style.
Try to be on the side of the screen. The other side.
This side. Oh, this side.
Yep.
There you go.
That looks better.
Okay, excellent. I see. And then I've also used some flowers, and then I also used some of the same size as one of the styles, but with like a little bit of this red tint. And I really like the combo that it ends up doing, especially with this sort of ghostly gray brown dirt that I ended up with. So that's what we're going to focus on today first. That's just like the first goal. So let me get these guys back in. There we go. That looks great. Oh, one thing I do also want to show off before we begin. Sorry, I know I'm delaying us. I apologize. I want to show Chaos Cultists referees though, because I think they look really cool.
They're sprayed, so they should be okay to handle.
So here is the dwarf referee. Looks really cool. I love the line. He got it so straight. He freehanded that. Can you believe that? So much better than the last time I freehanded stuff. And then, there we go. And then look at the book. I love how clean that little gold clasp ended up being. It looks so good. Also the stripes. Can we appreciate the stripes? They're also very crisp and clean on his uniform. So he looks great. And then additionally, we have the elf.
Off to the side a little.
Oops, sorry. You're right. I went off to the wrong side. So there we go. Here's the elf. Now, the thing that I love the most that he did here, look at that amazing just like texture that he got out of the quill because of the dry brush. Looks absolutely amazing.
Yeah, chat's been going.
Yes, they have. You know, they say it looks awesome as well. I completely agree.
Thank you.
I'm also just super impressed with how the stripes turned out. There we go. Really nicely done. And you don't freehand things very often, so I'm very impressed. All right, guys.
Also, someone said something about Fallout in the chat.
Oh, yes, I saw... let's see. You were checking out... yes, you were checking out some of my Fallout gameplay that's here. Yeah, because if you want to follow along with my full New Vegas campaign, you do have to start here on this channel, but then I eventually move it over to the gaming channel, which is where it lives now. And actually, next week... we will be starting back up with Fallout New Vegas because I have concluded my Space Marine 2 campaign. Oh my goodness, I just looked at that cat. He really likes to have his belly rubbed, so he's just like, he's braced on Chaos Cultist's forearm here, and he's just got like, honestly, his butt to me, and he's just getting his belly rubbed, and he's stretching his little toes now. I think too much. I think too much squeezing. He is a spoiled, rotten cat. He looked at me very accusatorily when I said that. I just want you to know. Okay, let's get these guys back into focus. Whoop. There we go. And let's look at the tufts we're going to be using. So I have picked out pretty much entirely just Gamer's Grass tuft. And I really love this, like, I really love these guys' stuff because they have these uneven edges, as you can see. It's really noticeable on, like, this particular set. So it's got all these, like, uneven, they call them wild edges. And it just looks super natural. And we're going to play with these and sort of build up on our little linemen. That's the plan. Hello, Darren! Welcome to the stream. Hope you're having a great time. Also, hello to all... Whoa. My phone nearly fell over where I'm using to see you guys. Welcome to like the 34 plus of you that are here. My goodness. That's wild. It's lovely to have you. Okay. We need to prepare. Focus, Angela. Focus. We need a tuft. Where are my tweezers? I would like... I have a hair in my mouth. Hold on. It's because of the cat.
This is going swimmingly.
Listen, this is a very casual stream today, okay? Originally, I was going to be playing some video games today, but then I was like, well, I've already finished Space Marine 2, so I don't really have, like, and I don't want to start Fallout New Vegas, like, here and then, like, have kind of this, like, long break and then get back into the DLC. I'd rather just kind of start the DLC and have a couple of days to be in it before I have to, like, take the small break over the weekend. It's kind of thing. So, I figured, why not paint? Because I need to. Anyways, we're tufting. I'm going to start with, I'm just going to move one of these. I'm going to move one in here. And then kind of, I don't know, there's not, how do you guys end up deciding how to tuft? Because I just sort of wing it every single time. I just grab a random piece, set it down and go, yep, that looks good. And then sort of just build around it. Is that what you guys do as well? Or I'm curious what your like motivation is.
I normally start with whatever the pose of the character is, and then try to fill in the negative space where it's awkward on the base, and then play around that.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Steve, you also finished Space Marine. You need to do some PvP and collect skulls for Lord of Corn. I haven't done any of the PvP myself. I'm waiting. I kind of... Basically, I want to step away from Space Marine 2 for a little bit, like a very short period of time. Because I want them to, like, hash out everything that's going on with the co-op and all of that.
Server stability.
Yeah, and server stability, basically. Because right now, at least when I was trying to play with Chaos Cultist and Dan earlier, when it first launched, we were doing the early access play, it was not working super well. We were having serious server connections to the point where we nearly had completed a mission completely and would have progressed the story, and the game crashed, and...
Yeah, we lost like a quarter of the campaign, really.
Yeah, like, of what we had played so far, like, it was a huge amount of what we had already, like, of what we had played so far. So it was really demoralizing a little bit, and which is why I ended up doing it solo. However, I really, really enjoyed the main story quest. And I am looking forward to jumping back in and being able to do, like, other things in the game. I want to definitely, like, you know, unlock some of the colors and be able to play as a Death Guard. I think that would be really, really fun. Thank you for subscribing, Scotty Wheeler. It's lovely to have you here. James, it's lovely to have you in chat, sir. Thank you for being here. Rob, hello. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're having a good day. Now, is anybody else working on any hobby projects right now, or are we all just hanging out? Having a chill. What is today? Today's Thursday? Thursday. Having a chill Thursday evening. You guys ready for the weekend? I know we got like one more day, you know, Friday tomorrow and such, but weekends after that should be pretty exciting for some folks, right? I would hope so. Well, Havman, I really appreciate that. Thank you. I'm glad that you enjoy my awkwardness and silliness to entertain you. That's what I'm here for. Oh my goodness. I've actually had an extremely productive day. You may have seen the short up on YouTube already. You may have seen it as a reel over on Instagram. But I did actually get my thrower completed today. Or at least the video completed. He was done like yesterday, I think it was, or something like that. But he looks amazing. I'm very, very happy with how he turned out. Honestly, I'm really happy with how this entire team is turning out. It's one of the reasons I love Blood Bowl miniatures, man. They come together so well. I think because you are able to legitimately lean into the sports team simplicity of a color palette, which I know sometimes people like rage against when it comes to like how you paint your Space Marines, which I always thought was sort of an odd argument, but whatever. Thank you, Nemesis. I'm glad you think so. I think I got it at my last anime expo. Or is that the one that's near me? Is that the one we go to?
What?
Anime Expo, is that the one that's near us?
I think so.
Okay.
Sorry, a little busy.
No, I understand that. I see that you're Age of Empiring. Age of Mythologying, sorry. Oh yeah, I like I'm so good at basing. I'm not. I kind of wing it, but I really like what I'm doing. However, I do kind of want to put like a small, I think I have a small little, one of these little guys. Right in there. More in there. Am I still? There we go. You're doing some gig shots for a friend over in the UK the Saturday night? That sounds awesome. Nice. I just completely lost that tuft. Holy shit. Let's try that again. Sometimes you gotta really use the tweezers to jab them in. I have a question. When you guys are tufting, do you use an adhesive to glue your tufts down, or do you just use the self-adhesive and let it stick and kind of like stab it into whatever texture material you'll put down? Because I know some people like swear by using adhesives. I don't use adhesives. I just use the self-adhesive that the tufts come with. I'm like, why else? Like, they should work, right? In theory, they should work. That's how they're advertised. So I just go with it. And I've never really had any problems with it for the most part. You use super glue? See, I sort of just like stab mine into place like I'm doing right now. Use PVA glue? See, I get it with static grass, because static grass is not, like, it's not going to have a self-adhesive on it, right? Because it's normally in usually a container that you can kind of, like, shake or whatever. Isn't that normally? Like, I feel like Woodland Scenics, they sell it in these big, it almost looks like this water bottle, but you know what it looks like? Those giant things of, like, cumin that you can get from, like, Costco or whatever. It's like a giant spice shaker. That's what it looks like. And so, of course, that I think you would want to use an adhesive with, because it doesn't have one on it. But I'm talking these kind. Like, I'm talking the kind that come on, like, these little paper backings where they have the self-adhesive on them. Because I feel like back in the day, like, when I first got into wargaming and I was using, like, the very old early 2010s version of, like, Army Painter and whomever else's, like, perfectly round tufts, those ones didn't stick super well. And I do remember having to use PVA glue on those. But these modern ones, like the ones that I get from Gamer's Grass, I feel like I don't have to use an adhesive with them. I am playing some Warhammer Football Mercarion. I'm running my vampire team against Meg, actually, later this month. She's running Nurgle, I believe, so it'll be an interesting matchup. I'm building the team for passing and throwing a lot, because I feel like that's going to be my best option, because she's going to be slow, so I'm going to try to, like, get around her, because she's playing Nurgle, so I can't imagine they're very fast. Nurgle is never fast. So I'm just hoping to zip around her and avoid... I'm assuming her rot. I don't know what I think Nurgle rot is the name of the ability her team has, and I haven't looked at seeing what that is yet, but I need to double check.
Yeah,
I assume it affects tackle zones in some way. Like, that's my assumption. And I have the book on Nurgle, so I'm sure I can look it up. I mean, it's probably in the rule book as well. So, like, I can probably just look it up straight, but, like, I haven't done so yet. Okay, I think I like this for him. I try to leave the space around where the little ball can be shoved into, available, depending on who I'm playing against, if they want to do it that way, versus... I actually glued one of my balls to... that sounds so funny to say, sorry. I'm very mature.
Yes, you are.
There we go, look at him. He's so cute. So I glued this ball with the two bats on it, because I have two of them. And this one doesn't have the peg. This was just like a flat basing, because I think you're meant to use this as a marker. But I glued this one to a base. And tufted it the same way that my team's bases are tufted. That way I can use him as a little marker behind my player, depending on if my opponent is cool with that, which is how I personally prefer it, because that's just easier for me to visualize, personally. Or if I can't do it that way, I don't know where the little bat ball is, but I've left the hole available to be able to do it either way. So I think this guy is, you know what? No, I want a little bit more on this side of his foot. So let's grab some more. I think I'm going to do a short tuft again. Maybe this little one. Yeah, this works. Because I kind of like the way his boot, like how the shadows on his boot arrive there. Hold on, am I on screen? Yes. I just realized I can bring this a little bit more over. Boop, 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 boop. There we go. Is that better? Yeah, I think that looks a little better. It's better for me. I can see better. That's what you do? You don't trust the flattish layer of adhesive on the texture side? Okay, so you add some super glue. You know, I get it. I understand. I'm very trusting. I've really never had problems with just like, because like I am here. I'm gonna bring it up so that I can really show you what I'm doing. Because this is what I'm talking about when I mean like I literally am jabbing. Okay, so here's my base. Wow, that looks fucking sick. Okay, so I am literally using the tip of this very pointy pliers. Okay, see how sharp these are? These are my needle nose, and I am literally like shoving it into the dirt. That way the texture, like that way the adhesive is really getting into the little grooves. I could see it maybe if you have a super uneven surface, perhaps. But I feel like, I don't know, I feel like what I've been doing. Rudy, thank you for the $10 donation. Good morning from Bahrain. Where's Bahrain? I don't actually know. I feel really dumb, but I don't know where Bahrain is. I just sent a small gift from Game Envy. I'm helping Meg and the Hobby Collab create their Blood Bowl pitch. What gaming aids or hobby supplies would be useful to me? I don't know. Maybe something that I could give away to my chat or something like that. Because I feel like when it comes to Blood Bowl, I am set. I have like multiple different pitches. I have like a bazillion teams at this point. Like, it's great. I am super satisfied with that. So I don't really feel like I personally need more. But if you really wanted to give something and send me something, I would definitely do it as either like maybe a giveaway to my members or like to my Patreon members. Maybe a collection of both, like give them both options. Like, we could work something out like that, but I don't think I personally need anything. It's in the Middle East. That's awesome. That's so cool. Well, hello.
Stop.
Is he trying to help?
Yeah.
That's so cool. But yeah, I personally don't need anything, but like, because I'm actually going to be potentially donating some things to Meg for my own collection because it's gotten so massive for Blood Bowl, to her to be able to give away as prizes for our tournament. So yeah, let's if anything, let's continue to work with her and get her some more supplies for the tournament itself, whatever else she might need. Yeah, let's do that. That sounds awesome. But thank you so much. Okay, I'm happy now with how this guy has turned out. I think this one is looking good. I need to press that one down though. I didn't finish pressing that little tuft down. I am blown away. Thank you so much. Ooh, okay, that looks so much better. It's actually flat. I will probably re-rim these guys when I'm finished. I've handled them so much and I haven't actually sealed them yet. So they're not really like, the very edges of their bases keep lifting the black paint. So we'll need to do that one more time before we actually finish them up, but it should be fine. Orc Dragon, it just takes practice. Keep in mind that I have been painting miniatures for at least 4 years consistently now. Sorry, I was feeling parched. So I have been painting miniatures for 4 years consistently. I do, in fact, have a degree in art. So I have a background in art just from an educational standpoint. And I've been drawing and doing art stuff since I was super little elementary school. So I have had many, many, many years of my life dedicated to honing this craft. And not to say that you need to spend that many years yourself to be able to get to this level, because frankly, I feel like a lot of my skill, especially with color, because when I was in school, I avoided working with color as much as possible. I went to school for comic books, for those of you that don't know. And I was one of those people that I was like, I'm going to stick with black and white stuff because that's my jam. I don't want to color things. Fuck that shit. And so I did it. And I avoided working with color as much as humanly possible. Also, thank you to the Eternal... Oh, the Eternal Crusader was just gifted... Oh my gosh, that's why I keep seeing perks happen up there, and it's because we got some gifted subs. Thank you so much, Rudy Picardo, for gifting 5 memberships. Congratulations to JPC, William Payne, John Perks, and the Eternal Crusader, and Grandfall. For your new memberships, welcome to the Hobby Night Legion. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You guys are amazing. Thank you for the gifted subs. I really appreciate it. You were very generous, sir. Okay, back to my story. I was talking about how I went to school for comic books and I was a real a-hole and I didn't like to do things in color, so I was really strict about doing all of my comics. Like, it's going to be purely black and white. No one can tell me otherwise. And I was very, honestly, it's one of my major regrets of my time in college. Like, I loved most things about my college time. I wish I had been more open to learning digital techniques and learning color theory and paying more attention to that and not assuming that I knew it all already to help me now. But going back to the main point of why I was bringing this up, I have years of experience, but I feel like a lot of my painting miniatures and the color understanding that I have has actually been in the last 4 years where I have been actually doing this consistently. So just as a form of encouragement, don't put yourself down and don't think that you can't do this yourself, because you absolutely can. Even if you have an unsteady hand or you are super unfamiliar with color theory or like where to even begin, just getting started and diving into it to any capacity is the best way to just open your eyes and start experimenting and learning how to deal with painting a miniature. Plus there are, just a bazillion tutorials out there. My own included, but like genuinely there are so many very talented people out here on YouTube who have all put their time, made videos, and you can absolutely learn a bunch. And I would actually genuinely encourage you, whether you're a new person coming into the hobby for the first time, or you're a returning hobbyist, or you are a long-term hobbyist, make sure that you go and you watch a bunch of other people and see what they're doing. Because even if their style may not necessarily be your like jam, you don't love it a huge amount, it's not what you would necessarily do, there is probably still something you can learn by watching how they handle their brush, how they describe talking about their techniques and the color choices that they're making, how they approach a model, because a lot of times these YouTubers will describe that process in some varying form of detail, some more so than others, and it gives you an idea of what they were thinking going into their project, which can sometimes be helpful for you as a hobbyist of any level to build upon or learn from their mistakes, etc. So it's a really cool thing to do. Charlie, you're driving yourself nuts with the Grapple X Mission variant bomber and the overall anti-flash white on white. The kit went together well with some door issues, but you appreciated the gloss with white matte. Well, that's awesome. I mean, it sucks that you're having a little bit of problems with the white on white aspect, but that's always, like, honestly, that's challenging. White on white is always a tough option because, like, how do you make that distinct without making it look too dirty versus too clean, Like, it's a very tough challenge, so I wish you luck on that, bud. I just personally go through a lot of miniatures to help me through my learning curve. Like, I've picked up enough, like, 2-player starter sets that include Space Marines, for example, over the years, and so I often sacrifice the Space Marines to me trying new techniques or testing out new colors, etc. But if you don't necessarily have this, like, backstock of miniatures to go ahead and play with, and you want to still practice and try something, there's a couple of different options that you can do. One, you can purchase some very inexpensive miniatures. Oftentimes you can find people selling like bulk, either old Space Marines or Warhammer miniatures in general, or even D&D miniatures on like Facebook Marketplace, eBay. So you could just buy somebody's like crappy stash of old miniatures that they're selling for cheap and use those as your fodder to help you learn. Or you can, if you have a 3D printer, you could just 3D print your models to practice on. You could just find like a free, is it STL? Is that what they're called? Mm-hmm. Yes. You could find a free STL of some basic zombie or something, because I'm sure there's like basic humanoid characters out there, right, that you can find for free, and you could just print some of those and practice on those. And that way you can build up your confidence a little bit and then dive into your first miniature that you care about more. But also keep in mind, and this is totally normal, Like, because I feel like I haven't seen this talked about recently. I feel like it's something that's talked about like occasionally in waves. But when you're building an army, especially if you are building an army for over an extended period of time, or you are a slow painter like I am, because like me compared to Chaos Cultist, I am like a phenomenally slow painter compared to him. Whereas my output might feel super fast for somebody else who paints even less than I do or more slowly than I do. And that's okay. That's variable. It's meant to be different. We're not all going to go at the same speed. But I kind of lost my train of thought there. Hold on. Let me get back to it, because I looked down at my miniatures and was like, I really should be working on these as I'm talking. I just get really focused and then I end up losing my train of thought, which is exactly what happened. So I maybe shouldn't have thought about working on my miniatures. Fuck.
It's fine.
Okay, cool. I don't remember at all what I was saying. Anyways, we'll move on. If you guys remind me, I'll get back on my whatever my rant was, because I know it was like meant to be uplifting.
Great job.
It was meant to be encouraging and I completely flubbed it. I'm a terrible YouTuber. Oh my god, I'm so embarrassed. Anyways, I'm sorry. It's late. I've been doing a lot today. I'm gonna just use that as my excuse. I genuinely was like, I should be working on this while I'm chatting. Oh yes, thank you for smashing that like button. If you are enjoying the stream and listening to me ramble and then losing my train of thought and then completely changing the subjects, please, yes, do hit that like button. That's common here. You will see that often. I'm such a professional. I'm really not. I'm very sorry. Orc Dragons, thank you so much. I appreciate you. I appreciate all of you being here, hanging out with me while I attempt to get my miniatures done so that I can take them to a practice game this weekend. Oh my goodness, stay. No, nope, nope, nope. Okay, so about that PVA glue. No, I just need to shift where this is because I'm putting it on top of existing tufting is the problem. So I need to come in from this side. Oh my god, look, that worked so much better. Coming in from the angle where it can actually get some adhesion to the dirt. Go figure. Exactly, we do all work in our own way. Oh yeah, I think that was kind of partially my point. I don't remember it specifically, but yes. It was basically just to ultimately boil down to, don't worry, we all work in our own way. Don't let it discourage you from trying and attempting to learn things. Oh, it was also tying to like, when you're getting started, if you want to, how you can learn to paint, or what you use to learn to paint on. And yeah, 3D printed models, cheap models that you get off of eBay or Facebook Marketplace or anywhere else where they sell, just like honestly, where people can sell their own stuff for cheap. That would be my suggestion. If you don't have your own just back hoard of opportunity to work on, in which case then just pull something from that you don't think you're ever actually going to do anything with in a game. Because that's the other thing that I do. Exactly, we do this for fun. It is a hobby. Like, keep in mind that everything that we're doing, all this gaming, all this effort and creativity that we're putting into these models, I mean, for me, it's a job, I guess. Some of us it's just a job, but for most of us, it is still just a hobby. And honestly, I don't even really think of it as a job, personally. That's why I can kind of agree with James, of like, genuinely, I don't think of it as a job. It is still just a hobby to me. But it's a hobby that I get to really invest a humongo amount of time into. Which is sick. And I will gloat a little bit about that, because I worked hard to get to this point. Dang it. And I'm gonna be happy about it. Also, thank you to all of our new subscribers. If you guys are watching, you are the best. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I keep seeing all of that come in, so it's awesome to see you all here. It's lovely to have you. I am the worst about it. Like, I I would not be surprised if I have some level of like ADHD because of how all over my brain goes sometimes when I am trying to discuss things, and then I just lose my train of thought and I'm like, what was I talking about before? It's a problem, but you know what? It's fine. I work around it. We get some cool stuff out of it. We get some silliness out of it. And that's fun. All right, let's keep going. I'm gonna put that sort of in the middle. Yes. Exactly. Old board game pieces would be another great space to be able to do some test painting. Especially since, like, especially if they are, like, legitimately older board games. Like, the old version of Descent. Like, not the modern one, which has, like, more high-fidelity miniatures. But, like, you got the old version. Or do you have, like, 2nd edition or even 1st edition Mansions of Madness? Do you have miniatures from those? You can paint those things to give yourself time to practice. And then work your way into the higher fidelity, more detailed miniatures. Because I get it. Some miniatures can be really intimidating to work on. They can, I mean, even just these, like, these linemen here. Let me focus on him a little bit. Like, even these linemen, who are supposed to be a very basic, relatively cheap unit, kind of look like they've got a lot going on, don't they? They're a little intimidating because of how much that's happening there. But, like, it's about learning to train your eye to see the shapes and go, oh, well, but this all just needs to be white, or, oh, this all just needs to be red, or whatever color you're ending up painting it. You can kind of start to see where those colors need to be blocked out. And when you start learning to do that, I think approaching even a more detailed but smaller miniature, or like something like these linemen, becomes a lot simpler. But it is intimidating when you first get started, and don't feel bad about being intimidated. But also, I would encourage you to not feel fully discouraged from attempting a more complicated miniature. You just need to take a moment and really look at it and go, okay, yes, there's a lot happening on this, but what's actually, like, can we decipher the distinct portions of this? Like, what part is the shirt? What part is the pants? What part is the boots? What part is the belt? You know, break it down into these very specific elements so that you can help yourself, if you're feeling overwhelmed by looking at the level of detail that's on a miniature, to actually break it down and see it so that it becomes less overwhelming. Plastic army men would be a great way. You can go to a Dollar Tree store, or some other sort of, you know, really cheap little store where you get very, like, inexpensive kids' toys. Grab some plastic soldiers. That's a great idea. You have 2 unpainted Nemesis sets and 2 more extra sets of intruders. Oh, that sounds amazing. Okay, so, and the nice thing is because it's Nemesis, because you're working with, like, literally horror monsters, you can kind of really boil it down to some very simplistic techniques that end up creating some really, really cool looking results. Like, I would highly look into doing some dry brushing specifically on the monsters in Nemesis, because they're going to have a lot of texture that dry brush technique is going to do very well to pick up. So you can play with color that way, or you can keep it really moody and very horror like themed in the same technique. Like, there's some really, really cool stuff that you can do. I would honestly, like, if you want one of my videos to check out for that, I would say,
what was the question?
Doing a monster with dry brushing techniques. I was trying to think of something.
The red dragon.
There you go. The red dragon would be a good one, so that would be a good video to check out. I would also say the polar bear for Oathsworn, because I did a grisaille technique on that, and I think that technique would translate onto those big monsters really well. And then you could use some contrast colors, which are very transparent, and you really could just use a single coat with, and it doesn't really, you're going to feel great using this, because it's going to give you amazing results without you actually having to do a lot of extra work to really make those results happen. Because dry brushing's super easy. It's just a matter of keeping your pressure light. And then putting the contrast color over top, you're going to get some beautiful natural highlights, midtones, and shadows because of the dry brushing you did before. And it's going to create this like great glaze effect essentially over top. And you're going to love it. And then you can do little details on like the eyes or the claws and pull some of those kinds of things out. But I feel like you're going to get some really strong results very quickly without it hopefully feeling that stressful for you. Exactly. Also, keep in mind, it's okay to fail and you will fail. Failing is part of the art process and it is not something to be upset about. Like you can feel down about it. Like there's nothing to say like, oh man, I fucked that up. Like I feel bad about that. That's fine. But don't dwell on it and keep yourself from moving forward. Learn from the mistakes, see what caused the failure, and try to avoid that in the future. That way, you can keep making cool stuff and you will start to get more confident and you'll start making less and less mistakes. But you will always make some, and that is absolutely true. Tactile Sun, hello sir, welcome to the stream. It's lovely to have you here. How are you doing today? Well, I hope. Also, don't be afraid to try to touch up your mistakes too. I go back and do that all the time. I'm constantly pulling my Wraithbone or whatever primer color out that I used. And if I got a color where I don't want it, I just go in and clean up that section. It takes a little bit of time. It's a little bit tedious sometimes, of course. But I find that it tends to be worth it because then I get a really nice clean look and I'm very happy with it. So I think I'm going to put another flower bit on this guy here. Yeah, I like that. Let's really jab that in. Kind of spread those flowers out. Sometimes they get clumped in a weird way that I don't like. So we just use the tweezers to sort of spread them around. And then we're going to put like a little strip of the flat stuff. Yeah, Captain. I like the play on your name, by the way. Captain. Excellent. I agree. Back in the day, you could strip the minis a lot easier because they were metal. Although I have heard, and I don't remember what the brand is, so I'm not going to like even attempt to say it, but I do think like, I want to say Louise Sugden talked about it on one of her videos, I feel like I recall when I was watching it. But there is some sort of branded, like chemical that you can safely use, supposedly. This is what I've heard. You can supposedly safely use them on plastic miniatures to remove the paint, but not risk the plastic miniature beneath it as much. I don't know, like, I don't remember what it is. Like I said, I want to say, and don't quote me on this, but I want to say Luis or somebody like Luis on YouTube talked about it. But I haven't looked into it specifically myself. Reaper does still make metal miniatures. Also, Battletech has a lot of metal miniatures, as well as Infinity. Now, the one thing I will say about the Infinity miniatures is I find they're a little expensive, so if you're just doing this to practice, unless you are intending to strip the miniature multiple times to practice on just like one or two like units or something like that, I would say maybe go for either the Battletech or the... because I think they're cheaper, but Battletech might still be more expensive, like more expensive than the Reaper ones. Reaper, though, has some really good prices on their metal miniatures, and those ones are totally worth getting a few, because, like, who doesn't need D&D miniatures? You can always use them for any fantasy RPG. It tends to work, and they're almost all the same scale, so it works really well. I've heard Simple Green works well, but I've also heard that that's, like, risky and can sometimes damage the plastic, whereas the thing that I'm talking about supposedly, like, minimizes the risk. But maybe it's just like a rebranded form of Simple Green, honestly. I have no idea. Okay, I think this guy's base is now... Do I need to put a thing there? Do I like that? Yeah, I'm gonna put a little strip of green there. Will this fit? It looks like it. We're gonna make it fit. We can just pull off some of the excess that we don't need. There we go. That looks awesome. Oh, where's my little... Here it is. I also recommend when you're basing to have a sort of a slightly stiffer brush. Here, I'm gonna show you mine. So this is a brush that I have from just a like cheap Princeton like multi-pack set. But I like this one because it's got slightly stiffer bristles. It's just some sort of synthetic. But it's really good for dusting off the excess stuff that's on your tufting. Because you always have like extra little fibers and everything. This helps get rid of it, which I just feel like gives you a little bit of a cleaner look. Unless you're going for like a really unkempt vibe. But I find that I want a little bit of that loose material to be just sort of brushed away, and this does so without damaging the tufts themselves and taking up too much of the material or anything like that. Speaking of, we did not do that on this guy, and I think he could definitely use it. You know what? I think I either need to put something more on this side or something right there on this edge, because it just feels too open to me. Now, I've used 2 of the big red ones, but I almost want to use a third. I think I'm going to do so. You can't stop me. Yeah. Oh, that's why, because that material... Oh, yeah, look at that. That was just fiber sitting there. Loose little fibers. No wonder it looked kind of crap. Did I lose all my tack? Maybe? Let's see. I really recommend checking Blood Bowl out. Honestly, okay. Normally, I'm not always a huge fan of Games Workshop's like simplified version of their rules that they do, like their rules explanation that they do on their YouTube channel. However, I will say the Blood Bowl rules explanation, like they have a little playlist of going over the various rules of how to play Blood Bowl. They're great. Not only do they use Jim and Bob, who are by far the 2 greatest characters in the Blood Bowl universe. No one can argue otherwise with me. I will fight you, and I will win. I'm kidding. But they also have there's a woman who like plays an elf, and I love her back and forth with Bob, who does all the actual rules explanation. It's very concise, very straightforward, and it helped me learn the game when I was first getting into my very first league. So I would, if you don't have access to Blood Bowl 2, the video game, to learn off of that, because it is almost identical, other than it doing the rolling for you, but at least the gameplay, like it gives you a very good foundation of how the game actually flows, even though you aren't doing all the dice rolling, etc., that you would be doing in the tabletop version, but it does give you at least a good understanding of the game itself, like on a broad level. But then those rules online are, I think, really well done. You have the core rule box and the Spider People villains, but have not played yet. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, I don't know. I haven't heard of Marcher. So is that, you said it's a Kickstarter one? Who is it done by? Is it one of the other like wargaming companies, or is it somebody like sort of new, up and coming, only on Kickstarter type of thing? Because I've not heard of that one. I have tried Marvel Crisis Protocol. I've only played like 1 or 2 games of it. I've played more Shatterpoint and Legion of the Atomic Mass Games line than I have MCP, but I have painted a number of Marvel Crisis Protocol miniatures. In fact, I think Venom was just painted. I don't know if is he still on the table? He might be downstairs. But we just painted, or Chaos Cultist just painted a Venom of our MCP collection, which was really cool. Yeah, the Gwen's model looks amazing. I know nothing about like what her abilities are in the game. But at least in regards to her sculpt, I love what they did. MCP has some really cool, extremely energetic models, and I genuinely applaud Atomic Mass Games in regards to their sculpts, because I feel like they're really pushing boundaries in regards to what they can do with those superhero stuff. Because for the longest time, I feel like anytime we got superheroes in any kind of board game or war game down the line, they were always really stiff feeling. Like, I remember all the HeroClix models, and I know the sculpts were limited back then, and there were some cool ones that inevitably happened, but like so many of them were just generic, like them standing with hands on hips, like, which I get is kind of a standard superhero pose, but like it's dull. And there's more interesting things you could do, and now they're actually exploring that. So I really, really like them for that. Venom is your fave. He's pretty good, isn't he? He's awesome. Oh, Golden Dragon games. It's imagine World War I and World War II bled into each other and then went down a route of sci-fi, Sherman tanks, and mechs. Okay. I really like that. That sounds awesome. I'll have to look into it. Is the Kickstarter still live, or is it like one of these ones that's ended and you have to like do a late pledge type thing? Equipment inquiry. All right, Rudy, you've asked, since you produce a lot of content with various IPs, what off-screen equipment do you consider a game changer?
Green screen?
Honestly, yeah. So, like, I have a just, like, very basic portable green screen that I bought off of Amazon 3 years ago or something, and that thing has proved absolutely invaluable to me. The other thing that has actually been really helpful is the M50 camera that I've been using. We recently just upgraded our cable, which allows for doing streaming as well as recording for my painting tutorials to be a lot easier. It goes directly onto my PC, which just makes dealing with like editing and all of that way simpler. But the M50's quality really gives me some fun, crisp like looks. Which I don't always see sometimes. Like, there's nothing against using like a cell phone camera to capture footage. I do all of the time. But I do think that having the Canon has been helpful.
For miniature photos.
For miniature photos and also for miniature like videography. Whereas like when it just comes to like face cam stuff, just use your cell phones. Like, I feel like cell phone cameras are so fracking good at this point that you really don't need them for anything else. Is there anything else that would be like behind the scenes that I have found really useful?
I'm trying to think that's weird.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of something that's like not an uncommon...
Your paint stirrer?
Yeah, I mean, the Vortex Mixer has been useful, but I feel like that's also pretty common of just, like, hobbyists to have to some degree. Like,
Yeah.
there's a call for people who do love them and a call for those who don't. Yeah, I feel like that's really the main things that I would say, like, have been the most valuable. Yeah, I can't think of anything else. Lighting's also been really good. I recently actually got some new, I'm not using them today actually, But I have some like professional grade lights now that I got from my parents actually for my birthday this year, and they're super nice. I've used them when I've done photography, and really, really nicely done. And it really, the quality difference is kind of insane. Just because it's such a better light than what I used before. I actually need to upgrade the lights that I use at this desk. Right now I have a round light that I've had since almost the beginning of my YouTube channel, that has like a magnifying glass that I never use.
No.
I never use it, so I feel like it's completely worthless to me. And I'd rather, like, I know there's a couple of varieties of these that I've seen, and I know there's, like, Redgrass Games makes one, and I know there's some other, like, brands out there that make them, and I haven't explored the value, like, the difference between them, but I know there's some that are on an arm, like how mine are, but they are just a straight light, and it would go just basically, like, in the middle of the board, and I really want to try one of those, because I feel like that's just going to give me even lighting. Whereas this round one, it's worked fine, but I don't like using it late at night because it's just not good. It's just not good super late at night. And so I wouldn't like, I feel like I need to upgrade that. Yeah, vortex mixers are great because we did talk about that a little bit earlier, and I do have one of those and I use it really regularly. We actually have it set back up now on our windowsill, out of the way so that it's on a stable surface and not going to like rattle my desk or anything when I need to use it, but still close enough by that I can always use it whenever I'm here at the painting desk. And it's great for stirring up your paints, especially if you have paints that really like to separate, or colors that just like where the pigments will just settle and separate out of each other. Like it's crazy how well it just mixes it together. I've heard great things about Spearhead. I've not tried any Age of Sigmar. I've tried some of the offshoots of Age of Sigmar like Warcry and Underworlds, but I've never actually played the core game before. Mostly because when it first launched, the world didn't really excite me, and modernly I just don't have as much time for it. But I've heard great things about Spearhead, and I really like the Skaven. I really, really like the Skaven. So it's been tempting. I just don't have time for another game system right now. Like, I want to focus on Blood Bowl. I want to play a little bit more Battletech. Like, that's on my list of games to sort of give some focus. And honestly, like, I kind of want to throw one of the Star Wars games in. Probably Shatterpoint because it's the newer one. Although there are some really cool new Legion models coming out, I think, soon. So I'm very interested because I think there's a new... Are they finally doing, like, Legion 2.0? Is that what I heard?
Basically, it's a rules update.
Yeah, I know, like, Legion's supposed to be getting a big rules update, and that has me excited, because as much as I do enjoy Shatterpoint from the few games that I've played, I just don't like the skirmish battles as much. I like having more miniatures on my field than I think Shatterpoint really lets me do. Whereas Legion, though, lets me have a greater volume of miniatures, and that makes me happy. So, and I have a bunch of miniatures for Legion to paint, and they have some new ones. I haven't bought them yet, because I'm being good, because I'm trying to be good, but eventually, down the line, before they go away, I will buy the Bad Batch, because I need them in my life. Preferably now. Or at least hopefully sometime in the near future. Okay, I've got these two done. Let's set them off to the side. They're looking great. Did I decide? No, we decided we needed to put something here. I'm running out of little lines. What I'll do is I'll use this, actually. How about doing that? Is that hanging over the edge too much? Maybe a little bit. Hold on. Does it work better there? It does work better there. All right, there we go. spreading out the flowers, doing a little bit of adjusting. Oh man, you're right, Tactile Sun. Ogres would be a good army for Age of Sigmar, where I wouldn't have to paint a lot of different miniatures, but I still get to play pretty readily. You gave up 40k in 2007 after nearly 30 years of playing the game. Got introduced to one page rules. OPR, yeah, one page rules, Grimdark Future, and now 40k armies have been given to a new life. You know what? That's fair, man. I have heard a lot of people really, really love one page rules because it's agnostic, right? So you can use whatever miniatures you want in that one, and literally it is a single page of rules, or at least the core rules is. I don't know, like, how have they maintained that actually? Like, because I haven't looked into it in a while, I actually don't know. Have they maintained it still being one page? Or has it become like 2? My guess is that it has, in fact, maintained being one page.
I mean, it wouldn't be the name, would it?
I mean, yeah, exactly. It wouldn't be the name still if it wasn't, so I assume it is, but I don't actually know. Alright, so let's get this guy done. I've been chatting so much that I've done such little work. Curse you, chat, for being so awesomely distracting. I have not, Rudy. I have some of them, though. Where are they? I think they are... Here? No, they're not in here. Are they in the bottom one?
Whoa.
Sorry. Just a paint bottle, it's fine. Oh, they might be in here. Oh, more little tufts. Okay, hold on. Let's see. Are they in here? Because I don't know. I know I have some, but I haven't... I don't think I've tried them. Okay, I don't have any more of that particular color. Ah, here they are. Yes. So I have 2 styles, actually. I've got these, like, the fern type, and then these sort of, like, alien fauna, like, flowers. They look really cool. These came into my brain recently. What was I thinking about for them? Oh, I remember. It had nothing to do with miniatures, but it did technically have something to do with a craft. So I recently bought, because I have been loving having a larger house that also has a yard. And I've been buying Halloween shit, okay? I love Halloween. I mean, I'm literally working on a vampire Blood Bowl team, and my last Blood Bowl team was the Necromantic Horrors. I love Halloween. And so I was at, like, Target, I think, and I found this silly little, but I loved it, framed picture of a skull that was growing out of, like, moss, and it had, like, little mushrooms that were growing around it. And it's cute. I love it, but I want to make it better. And so one of the ways that I'm going to do that is I want to add a bunch of, like, tufts, and I've got even some woodland scenic stuff. And I figured, because, like, I have all this, like, craft plant life material because of what I do for a living, why not use those materials and nurgle up this little skull display? So I'm going to even paint up some little nurglings. I might even, like, I was considering maybe putting some poxwalkers on it too, but I think I might just stick with the nurglings, and maybe do some, like, possibly 3D print down the line some like pustules or something like that to attach and make it even more nurgly. But that's my idea, and I was thinking about using those little faunas as part of that. Okay, so they do keep it down to 1 page, but if you end up wanting to go like into a more advanced version of the game and really expand it out, then it ends up being roughly 36 pages. I mean, honestly, that's still not bad, all things considered. Like, I feel like sometimes most war games get so overcomplicated. I think that's actually one of Games Workshop's problems right now, is it's just so much. There's a reason RTSs stick to like 3, maybe 6 total factions down the line, because when you start expanding it and expanding it and expanding it and expanding it, it just becomes so catastrophically difficult to balance and make like them not all end up feeling the same, because like their objective is always war. Mission design, I think, is really where GW is struggling right now. They have so many factions that they can't design good missions that don't make everybody's just feel like the same thing repeated over and over again, which does not always fit like lore-wise to even the armies that you're running. So it ends up having this very disjointed feel. I don't know, they have some problems. Yeah, you saw it on, I shared it on Instagram, the little skull thing that I want to update, and I think it'll be really cool to just nurgle up. I'm excited about it. Is this a really small piece? Oh, it is a really small piece. Oh, fuck. I'm going to use that really small piece right here. No, I'm going to save it. I'm going to put it right in front of his other foot. There we go. Okay, let's put some flowers on. It's one of these big ones. Have it maybe circle in. I keep having them circle their feet. These human thralls are actually fairies, and wherever they step, they create little flower growths. The vampire's like, no. That's absolutely not what's happening. All right, what if I do that? I kind of like that. Brings it a little bit more forward. It's now not circling his back foot anymore. That's so cool. I do love a game system that has a super, super easy to use, very quick to assemble army list constructor. Like, that is awesome. Also, the miniatures that they create for ORP are great. I know they do a lot of 3D printed stuff. I love their Tomb King variants, because I know that they have some, like, undead mummy slash essentially Tomb Kings. Like, it is spoofing that from my understanding. I haven't looked into their vampires, actually, but I bet they have some pretty cool ones, don't they? I know there's a huge, huge collection for 1-page rules. Let's see, how's this looking? It's looking pretty good. Do I want to leave his more open? I've kind of made some of the other guys' pretty dense. Yeah, I think I will. I think I'm going to leave this one's more open. We'll Nope. Changed my mind immediately. I want to put one, at least little, like, the green tufts kind of in here. After my vampires, what is going to be my next Blood Bowl team? That's an excellent question, Havman. I have so many to pick from. Oh, the gnomes. Easy peasy. Easy peasy question to answer. I think instead of doing something horror and like spooky, because I was about to be like, well, I could do the dark elves and I could keep with my like, thank you for subscribing, Frankie Rivera and Mick O'Neill. Thank you. So instead of sticking with something spooky or slightly darker and like more sinister, which dark elves definitely would be, chaos definitely would be, because I do have the chaos team as well. I actually think I'm going to go with something a little bit more pause, timeout, cease. I'm going to hold up a timeout. I'm using the ref. Timeout. This actually still stands. Never mind. What am I doing? I was about to be like, hold on. I just ordered. Should I tell you this? Should I tell you that I've been bad? Chaos Cultist just ordered me 3-star players for my vampire team that I can also use for my necromantic horrors, technically, I think. So I'll probably be working on them after I'm done with the vampires. They're not technically, like, I mean, like, they could be for the team. One of them definitely will be, because it is literally the vampire. I also brought the lady. I got, so, okay, so let me clarify, because I'm being really vague. I bought 3-star players. I bought, where is, hold on, let me go grab the book, because their names are all in the book, and I want to make sure that I get their names correctly. So, hold on. Let me do that. Okay, so. I just ordered 3-star players that I can, I think, use with this team. And if not, one of them can definitely be used with the necromantic horrors. So I bought Count Luther von Drachenberg. Look at him. Look at his majestic self. He's beautiful. Oh my god. Okay, so I bought him.
You can only order 2.
Did we only order 2? Was it just the, was it him and the, okay. And then the other one that we're getting is Captain Karina von Ries, I believe is how her name was said. This model looks really cool. She's kind of piratey, which works really well for me, because if you guys have watched me play Total War Warhammer 2, you will know that one of my favorite factions in that game is the Vampire Coast with Silostra. And this woman, like, gives me Vampire Coast vibes so badly. And I love that. That's great. So both of these teams, both of those players can actually be used in the Vampire team. So they're what I'll probably be working on, like, directly after this. But once that is concluded, which I would still count, right? Like, that counts as the Vampire still. They would probably be the gnomes. To get back to the answering your question, Havman. You play lizards? Oh my god. Lizards would be so fun to paint. Do I have lizards? I think I do have the lizards. They would be really, really fun to paint. But I definitely feel like I really want to paint the gnomes, because when they came out, all of the little critters that came with them are so cute. I'm a sucker for small animals. So yeah, that's what's going to be happening. My lips were feeling a little bit dry, so I apologize. I wanted to put some chapstick on. Yeah, the gnomes are going to look awesome. Also, yes, my star players look amazing. I completely agree. I think that feels good. That feels good. We're going to move on to this fella, who is my favorite. I think of all of the thralls, this guy is my favorite, because as somebody on one of my comments, either on YouTube or Instagram, said, he looks like the butler guy from Rocky Horror Picture Show. And I agree 100%. Right? What's his name? What's the butler? Seymour. Yeah, he looks like...
Oh, no, Rocky Horror. Sorry, his name. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Well, with whatever character that is, I think he's technically like the director.
Yes.
So it looks like the director from Rocky Horror. And I think that's hilarious. So he's my favorite. That's who we're going to work on next.
Is there a damaged 501st guy over there who needs to be rebased?
There is one that is off of his base. Where did I put him? He's in one of the containers.
Oh, okay.
I don't know like offhand where he is, but I know he's around. He's not in this right now because this only has my test subjects in it.
Okay.
All right. Focus. Back on task. So let's get some tufts on him. I'm going to give him a larger section of this like brownish red one. We're just going to put that directly between his legs. Oh, that's pretty cool, actually. Oh, that's really nice. Well, that's a nice benefit to his Patreon, isn't it? All right, that is a good start. I'm going to use some of these flatter ones to use around the edges. There we go. Do this on the back side because I couldn't fit that other one, but that goes down nicely. Riff Raff, thank you, that's his name. I don't know why I forgot that. That's such an easy name. It's because I've watched like Rocky Horror like twice. Who's excited for Halloween? Because I am so excited for Halloween. I bought decorative pumpkins recently. I'm not kidding. When I said that I have been going crazy with buying, not crazy, like I've been going super insane. But every time I go to the store, if there's like Halloween stuff, I'm like, and there'll be like one Halloween thing in my cart every time. I went to Trader Joe's and was getting groceries, and they had changed out their display in front. Normally they have succulents, which is also a thing that I like to buy because I now have a yard and I can put plants in, and it makes me extremely happy. They changed out the succulent display for all their like mini decorative pumpkins. You know, the ones that you're not necessarily going to carve, but you can put out as like display and or use. I think you can use them technically, like for food, but I'm using them for display, so I bought like 5 of them that I've now set outside on my like little porch that leads up to my door. We also have some lights. You may have seen it on my Instagram, where we have these little skull lights that like flash purple, which is totally looks so good. They actually work way better than I thought they were going to for something that we just like bought fairly inexpensively off of Amazon. So I'm like, hell yeah, that's great. I even have plans to potentially convert one into a Nurgle like style grenade. After we're done with them, potentially, and or they'll just move into my backyard because I will absolutely insist on spooky season happening all year round. It is the best holiday. It is absolutely the best holiday. I've already started redecorating my house. Like I want to do more. We have plans. We've also started collecting full-size candy bars for the neighborhood, which there's going to be a lot of kids I think this year. I am very excited about it. Like this is gonna be my first year where I get to do trick-or-treating with like kids being around, and they'll actually be able to physically come up to my door and get candy from me. And I've never gotten to do that. I have experienced it on the other side when I was a kid, of course, because I was a child during the 90s and the best time for Halloween ever. And you can argue with me otherwise, because it fucking was, and I will fight you. But it was like the greatest time. So I missed that, and I got to do that as a kid. But as an adult, I've never been on the other side where I've been the one handing out the candy to the kids and giving them that same experience of joy of getting a full-size candy bar. And now I get to. and I'm very thrilled to do it. Now, I did get to do some trick-or-treating at the last place that I lived, but it was sort of a communal thing where we had like this sort of like park in the center of where all of the housing was, and they just set up trick-or-treating there because otherwise the kids would be going up and down elevators, and there's no way for them to really like get into each individual building because of the way that the community was set up. So it made sense there, and that was fun, but it wasn't the same. And this year I actually get them to come to my house. I also think it would be super cool to rig your miniatures with LEDs and the eyes and the guns. That is something that I eventually want to do. I've learned a little bit about like soldering so that in the future I can set up stuff like that, but I haven't invested more into it since the move just because I haven't had time yet. Sort of building myself up slowly. Like honestly, painting up this Blood Bowl team was a really nice challenge. And way to get myself back into painting without completely overwhelming myself, but still giving me plenty to work on. It's been great. All right, I think, so that looks good. I want to put one little tuft of this taller light green next to his foot. And then we're gonna put another like flat one in there as well. Let's get rid of that little loose fibers. Get out of here. You used to hand out mini comics? That's awesome. I did pick up Pokemon packs. They had at Costco these like packs of 120 I don't know if they're Halloween specific cards or like what, but they were like these Pokemon cards, and there was 120 like little booster packs in there. So I got 2 sets of those, and I'm planning on giving those out alongside the full bars of candy because I will be the best, coolest house on my block. Damn it, that's my dream. Next year, we're not doing it this year, but next year, my goal, my hope, my optimism is that we will be able to do some sort of like haunted house or some other type of like spooky yard setup or something like that that the kids will be able to go through to achieve their candy goals. Because I want to make them work for it. I want to scare I want to scare them. When I was a kid, I was like a preteen, I think I was. And so it was around that time where like adults started to sort of frown at you for trick-or-treating because you were just old enough to maybe you shouldn't be anymore, or at least they seem to think so. How dare they? But you, of course, thought that you should still be trick-or-treating and absolutely allowed to. So around that time period, like whenever you hit that age, I ended up being in one of my neighbor's haunted house setups. He always did these huge elaborate setups every year. And the kids always loved it. And so one of the years he had bought a coffin. Like I think it was a prop one, but it was still pretty well designed. Like to the point where somebody could be in it. Me. Me. I got to be in the coffin and I got to be a vampire. And I got to scare the fuck out of kids, and it was great. And I would love to do something like that again at some point. Like we have a driveway, and I want to set up something next year in the driveway, like a little maze or something to lead them to the door or something like that, where they can get their candy and then have a little exit or whatever for them. That's my dream. Oh, you never get trick-or-treaters even though you keep your lights on? Aw, that's so sad. I really get the impression, just where I live, one, I've talked to one of my neighbors about it, and I'm like, please tell me that the children love to trick-or-treat here, and she said yes. So I'm gonna trust her until proven otherwise. But my optimism is there are so many kids. My hope is that there's gonna be plenty, and we're near enough to multiple neighborhoods, and a lot of the businesses around here are geared towards families. So my hope is that a lot of people have children around here, and I'm gonna get like the coolest Halloween experience ever. At least the coolest one that I can when it comes to trick-or-treating as an adult. Because obviously I don't have kids myself and I can't go trick-or-treating now people would really, really frown upon that more than they did when I was a teenager. More than they did when I was in college. So I totally went my first year of college. I cosplayed because it was the first time that I had really like gotten to make my own costume and everything. So I made my own costume and I cosplayed that year for Halloween, and I fucking went around with my friends who were all, 19, 20. And we got candy, damn it. And we actually got a fair amount of candy because we were in the South when we were doing this, and a lot of the kids like in the area didn't bother getting costumes for one reason or another, and a lot of the adults were like, oh, it's really lame because then like half the kids who are coming around looking for treats are just dressed normal and they're not even like in the spirit, they're just like getting candy. So they actually gave us candy even though we were well too old for it because we were at least in costume. Oh, that's awesome. Well, I appreciate it if you do end up doing so. I actually am making a trip to the P.O. Box tomorrow because I think I have a couple things waiting from some people. So if you've sent me something recently, I'll be going tomorrow near the evening, hopefully, without missing the time, and getting that. Because I also have an International Plastic Modeler Society meeting tomorrow, which should be awesome. All right, we have 2 more to tuft. Let's do it. And then we can actually do a little bit of painting as well. So I definitely think we're going to put this nice L-shaped piece right there. If I came to your house in costume, you'd give me candy? Awesome. Don't tempt me, sir. I have a sweet tooth, and I like dressing up. Like, trust me, if I could get away with going actually trick-or-treating modernly as an adult, I would. I absolutely fucking would. Oh my god, it would make me so happy. It would be real cringe, I'm sure, for the adults giving out the candy, but I would be extremely happy. I do plan on working on my terrain in the future, Rudy. My plan actually is, so I want to do, obviously I'm working on the Blood Bowl team. That's the current plan for the channel. Once I am sort of concluded my Blood Bowl activities, because I do have, September is kind of dedicated to them because my tournament starts at the end of September, which will be my first match against Meg. And I'm very excited about it. I've been practicing. I hope to get a few more practice games in with Chaos Cultist, but it's been going well and I've been feeling confident with the team. I've really started to sort of figure out how they're meant to behave and how they're meant to work, which is really cool. But so after that, the plan is to, I believe, do something with scale models, and then after I'm done with scale models, I would like to do something with terrain. Because it's been a while since I've done anything with that, and while I'm not going to get immediately into the big terrain board like I originally had planned for this year, because the move sort of really put that on hold, and I want to get my garage set up for actually being able to film that, because that's going to be a great space to make a big mess and be able to easily clean it up without it completely destroying my house. And I can't do that right now because I have too many cardboard boxes in there still. They're all mostly empty. They're just everywhere because I haven't taken them to the recycling place yet. But I do want to work on some of my terrain because I showed it in my my studio tour recently, and I realized how bloody much of it I have that is unpainted, and it's a lot. Specifically, there are a couple of Nurgle pieces that I think would be fun to work on because they're kind of unique. I have some orc terrain, and Orktober is coming up, so that could be something. I do have a Cromlech ship that I still would like to potentially do, but that might also be slightly postponed just because it's huge and I haven't even started gluing it together yet, and it's going to take a while to, like, I think I'm going to need a drill. I think it's going to end up being needing to be pinned for sure because it's such large chunks of resin. You're working on your hex border for Battletech. I have a lot of my hex tech stuff that I got from Gale Force 9 and I don't remember the other company that works on it right now. Shoot, I don't know. I'll look it up later. But like, I got some hex tech terrain that I want to get out and play, which is one of the reasons I do want to bring in work on some Battletech miniatures here in the near future. But I do want to get some of my just 40k terrain painted up, if anything, because I have a lot more opportunities for like photo shoots now, and I want to be able to do more photo shoots with a lot more of the painted miniatures that we have completed. So that's one of my goals there, is I want to get that done. Your current project is working on your Wookiee army from Star Wars Legion. That's awesome, Robert. Dude, a full Wookiee army would be amazing. Also, I bet painting all that texture, like all that fur texture, is so fun. Are you dry brushing it? Is that what you're doing? Or like, what are you doing to handle the fur? See, I feel like that's the correct attitude to have, Slink, by the way, of not really caring if it's an adult coming up, especially if they don't have kids with them. Like, it's the season of giving candy out to people who are dressing up as in costume. Like, who cares if they're, like, what age they are? But some people are really, really weirdly just, like, very particular about, they're like, you're being creepy by doing that. I'm like, how? By dressing up and not bothering the children around me and also getting some candy from you because I have a fucking sweet tooth and I like dressing up? What? How is that being weird? I don't know. It's 22 Wookiees? Dude, that sounds amazing. That sounds like a great army to paint. I approve. Oh my god, so many Wookiees. That's so good. I'm gonna leave that space open actually, and we're gonna bring this over here. Trying to create some shapes is what I've started doing on the bases, of trying to like create some patches of where there's grass and then where the like space opens up. Okay, so we're gonna turn them around here, and I want to put some flowers in this spot. What's a good... What a weird shape that one is. Can you see that? Hold on, let me show you. So one of the tricks and one of the things that I like about these tufts where they're on these little wax paper things is when you flip them over, you can see what the base's shape actually is, which is really nice for these wild tufts, especially from Gamer's Grass, to actually see what they're doing. Is it? Oh my gosh. Okay, on the camera, it looks like this connects, but it's actually two L-shaped pieces just really close to each other. Because I can separate them there and you can see that it's just an L shape. But on the backside, it looked like it was this weird U shape. And I was like, that's a weird one. I've never seen them do that before. But okay, that makes way more sense. Also, I dumped so many flower bits onto this. Oops. Maybe don't do that over everything else. Ah, okay. That makes sense. I almost grabbed my paint water, which I have not used yet, so it would have been fine if I drank from it, but I almost grabbed that to drink. Probably not the best idea. Alright, I think I'm going to take this weird-shaped guy, because he's kind of small. We're going to just shove him. We're going to spin him. Oop. To be that way, so that the petals lean away from the shoe. We're gonna jab it in right there. Do you like that you get the extra models? I know sometimes people are like, I wish you just gave me the number of models that is meant to be in the squad. Like, did they change the number of like Wookiees that you could have per unit or something at one point? Oops, sorry, let me focus that a little bit better. Or is that just something, or are they just being generous and giving you extra models in case you like want to experiment with your paint schemes and therefore try something unique? Because it almost feels a little frustrating to get like an odd number like that. And not odd as in like the number, like I think you said it was 5, so technically it is an odd number, but I was more meaning just like having spares. They're just being generous. Okay, that's cool. That is fine, honestly. If it's a generosity thing where they're giving you extras and they're not really like charging you extra for them, I suppose, then cool. All right, I think that looks pretty decent. Do I want to add? Does it end sort of weird here? It might end a little weird here. Do I have a small? Nah. Well, actually, maybe this. Yes. Cool. Let me just blend that in. Yes. That looks great. That's what I wanted to see happen. Good Tufts doing what I demand of you. They have a good amount of options too. I do remember that. I know when I was building my, I've forgotten the name of the box set, but the one that came with Maul where he's running the syndicate. I remember those models had a lot of options too, and also the clones had a fair number of options, if I recall correctly, which was really cool. All right, let's dust our excess off. Nice thing about dusting it off is also it sometimes shows you where you may need to press down the tufts a little bit more. Which I always like. Well, I like tufted one of my hairs to it. That's a first. I'm gonna need a, honestly, actually broom, like sweep off my desk because of the amount of tufting material that is here now. Yeah, the Shadow Collective box. Thank you. That's the one. That was what it was called. I was like, I don't remember what it was called, but it was one where he was running the syndicate. Oh, that's awesome. I love when people dress up and then act like they're statues or like hide in the shadows. And then when the kids come up and try to like get the candy from the bowl, they like jump out and like spook them. That's like the greatest thing. You're gonna have 2 bombers and and a gunner. That's awesome. Nice. Meow.
Oh, hello.
He says, Father, I have come for more cuddles. I know we had some at the start of the stream, but I demand further cuddles, Father. Love me. Love, 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 love. Alright, we're gonna use one of those big L-shaped flowers. And we're gonna put it right there. That's right, in a weird angle, not surrounding one of the shoes. It's because I have a plan. Don't you worry.
Hi, Jack.
Is he being aggressively nuzzly?
No, he's being aggressively wanting to look over my shoulder.
Oh.
See?
Oh. He wants to say hi.
To
hi.
you.
Yes. He is so, like, falling asleep immediately.
Really?
Yeah, he's got, like, you know when his eyes start to half close?
Jack, this is not the place.
Father, I'm sleepy. I love. It is nap time. He's seriously just being so cuddly. Aww, he loves you. You know, Robert, I completely understand that. For me personally, I loved being scared, but I do understand that if you have like anxiety or if it's just not your thing, if you're very sensitive to like sudden loud noises or something like that, I get that. And so it's not for everybody. Like when we set up our thing next year, because I don't plan on scaring the kids necessarily. I don't want to be a complete asshole. Although I feel like if you were going into a haunted house-esque scenario, because I went to plenty of houses that like where the neighborhoods would like have one house that went really hardcore for Halloween, and they would do a little setup that would lead you to their door to get the candy, and it would be like a little trial essentially that you'd have to go through because it was meant to be spooky. And they were doing like mini haunted houses that were like for kids, and they still scared the shit out of me, but I loved those because I knew going in that was what I was meant to be experiencing. So it was kind of, it set it up. I liked it less when they didn't have even a sign that says like beware or whatever. Like, I like a little bit of forewarning, because then I feel like, well, it's Halloween, I've given you this warning, so if you're really paying attention, you should know this is coming. But if you're not, then I get to scare you. But if it's just like them being kind of like dicks and like doing it to be mean, I don't approve of that. I wouldn't want to do it to be mean. And that's also the reason that I personally, as somebody who does like to add a little bit of the spook into the spooky season, like to give out full bars of candy, because then it's like, well, it's okay, I scared you, but here, have this entire bag of Skittles, or like, here's an entire Snickers, or whatever, you know, like I've got a variety of different options, so hopefully it'll make it worth it for the kids, and they'll be fine. But I do understand that, I can get it. Sounds like your sister's cat. He was he is the cuddly, like he is asleep. I think he just immediately passed out on Chaos Cultist's shoulder. It's the cutest fracking thing. See, and that I think is like a pattern where, like, if you really are bothered by it, you can understand the pattern and maybe try to get into a point where you're going up to the house and you're skipping that element of it. But yeah, I get you. Oh no, it was you every single time. I'm so sorry. Red Panda, hello. Yes, we're working on the vampires. They're coming together. Look, I've got so many of them based and completed. All 8 thrall. And also the ball. Look at that. They're coming together. Oh, they're... Oop. There we go. There's also technically a vampire thrower done, but I'm not showing him yet because the video comes out on Saturday, so you get to see him then. You got a little bit of a tease of him in the short, but that's as much as you're getting. That's as much as you're getting. Thank you for subscribing, Bear USMC 0311. It's lovely to have you here. Okay, this is the guy. I was like, which one was I working on? Let me scoot them out of the way. Well, that is a super tiny piece. Well, we'll just shove that on the edge here, where it fits perfectly. Actually, that actually worked out really well. Now let's take this larger piece. Spin it. Yes. Wonderful. I've had a couple of practice games. I know I mentioned this earlier, but I want to talk about them a little bit against a Black Orc team that Chaos Cultist is running. And the first game I got completely annihilated because I completely misplayed my first turn.
Well, I also, killed 2 linemen in the first, 3 actions.
You absolutely did kill 2 linemen in the first, 3 or 2 actions. But I also horribly misplayed. I was thinking I could I was really being optimistic about throwing. A little overly optimistic. I was like, oh, these guys are meant to throw. I'm gonna take my runner and I'm gonna send her into the enemy territory, and then I'm going to throw from back in my line. That seems smart. It was not smart. It was a bad play. Lost that game. But the second game, I was actually feeling really good because there was we had an amazing thing happen. Okay? An amazing thing happened.
Please.
So, Chaos Cultist is running Black Orcs. He was running a squad or a team that was made up of, I believe, 6.
The important thing is I had a troll.
Yes. The important thing is that he had a troll. Now, for those of you that are unfamiliar with Blood Bowl, in the game, trolls are they can be very good, but they're stupid. That is literally, one of their rules is called really stupid, which means that they have to roll on a 4-up unless there is an adjacent player of their...
They have a chance of zoning out.
Basically, yeah, they have a chance of failing doing anything. They can completely fail. So this troll was like, I'm gonna be ballsy, and I'm gonna pick up the goblin that's currently holding the ball.
Final action of the turn. The
Final
goblin
action
with the ball is surrounded by vampires.
Yes. And he's like, I'm gonna throw the goblin to the end zone and hope that he lands and makes a touchdown. So the troll picks up the goblin. The troll fumbles the throw.
I'm rolling that one.
He rolls in that one, so he really fumbles this throw. However,
It goes wild.
it goes wild. However, the goblin does not give any fucks because he still manages to land on his feet holding the ball.
And the wild throw went diagonal towards
The touchdown to the end zone.
The opposition's end zone.
So he's like 2 squares from the end zone.
But it's the end of my turn.
But it's the end of his turn, so that's the last thing he can do. The goblin's already moved. He can't do anything else. He had to move to get up to the troll to be thrown in the first place. So he can't do anything else. I run over one of my throwers with a blitz. Absolutely knock the shit out of that goblin, getting the ball from him. I then managed to get the ball to my runner, who then has a speed of 8 movement, rushes it, 2 additional movement, going a full 10, succeeds both rushes miraculously. After succeeding... Actually, did she succeed her thirst, or did I have to re-roll that?
No, she succeeded.
Okay, so she succeeded her thirst because all the vampires
She was
have...
attacking. A thirst roll is almost auto success if you don't roll a 1.
No, she didn't get the ball from the...
Right.
Yeah, no, she didn't get the ball, so she wasn't attacking. So I did have to roll the thirst. But she managed to succeed that. She then also managed to succeed 2 rushes. So she was like literally 8 spaces in my next turn from touchdown. Managed to fucking score. It was a miraculous play. Like I was, and that moment is why I love playing Blood Bowl so much, because you get stupid shit to happen where you're like, this in theory could work, it could not work, and if it does, it'll be great. If it doesn't, it'll be hilarious. And then it like half does, and it still ends up being both great and hilarious, and then it completely gets backfired on you by the team by your opposition the next turn, and it's just so gosh darn good. I love it so much. I can't wait to try playing against the Nurgle team. That's going to be really, really fun. I have no idea how that game is going to go. But I am looking forward to it. Bonehead is your favorite? Is Bonehead one of the, You're living your BB dreams vicariously through me. I'm so glad to hear it, Red Panda. I'm trying to make use of everything that you sent me. Oh, man, I love how these bases are turning out. I love hodgepodge collections of different types and styles of tufting. It just ends up looking so cool. It just feels very natural to me. I got that really close to the hole there, though. Oops. That's what he said? I think we need to put that... Yes, right there. And he's done. Okay. Is that all 8 linemen? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8! Yes! Alright, all 8 linemen are done. I feel really good about that. That means for the current team that I'm running, I need to finish painting the Blitzer, which we have here. He's almost done. We actually can start working on him next, and we'll do his... He's actually to the point where I need to paint, I think, the face? Yes. Maybe do a little bit of metallic emphasis on some of the armor, like, rivets, because a couple of the, like, panels have some rivets on them. But then it's really mostly the face and the shirt. That's where we're at, I think, with the Blitzer. And then that means it's just one other thrower, which is my most complicated boy with his arm covering his entire chest. Why did I glue that together? And then the one runner, which I actually need to prime still. She's the one thing I haven't primed, so that'll be a task tomorrow. Getting her primed. We're going to work on the blitzer here in a second. So I'm probably going to leave the runner and the thrower for tomorrow. The only other things that I have to paint are some of the accessories, but those are less vital to being done. Yeah, it's coming together. How long have I been going for, by the way?
Hour and 50. Okay,
so we're almost at the 2-hour mark. Do you think I should keep going, or do you think I should call it?
I mean, if you have the energy, I would keep going.
I think I can. I think we could still work on the blitzer some more.
I was expecting you to go for a while longer.
Yeah, no, I was too. I was just wanting to see, like, I didn't want you to be bored and like, or anything like that, because I know you're just hanging out with me.
I'm fine.
Okay, good, excellent.
I'm the one who encourages you to stream more often and longer.
That is very true. Okay, well, in that case. What I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to take a brief 10-minute break, since you said we've been at an hour 50 or so.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to take a brief break, guys. I'm going to refill my water bottle because it's getting low. I'm going to grab myself a quick snack because my dinner is wearing off. And then when we come back, we're going to continue working on the Blood Bowl team. They'll also give me time to sweep this a little bit so I can get all the tuft residue before I actually start painting. Because my concern is that I don't want to get like fibers in my paint accidentally, because that will happen. I've done it before if I don't clean up my desk. So let's take a quick break. I'll be back in 10 minutes, probably less, and I'll see you very, very soon.
ready?
Yes, I am!
Well then, let's get back to business of defeating the Huns.
Oh my god. We're defeating the Huns, everybody. Hello! I have returned. I fucking forgot my water downstairs. Can you
I'll go get it.
Thank you. Also, when you get back, I have a question that you must answer. Hello, everybody. It's lovely to have you all here. Sorry for being away for a moment. I needed to stuff my face with cheese puffs. Because I love them so much. It's a problem. They're delicious. And I can't help myself. Where is my blitzer? There he is. I cleaned my desk, as you might notice. It is clean of tufts and also fibers. So we can actually finish working on this guy. I need putty. I'm losing my fracking mind. Where are all of my supplies?
Here's your water.
Thank you so much.
Where's all your what?
I have misplaced my putty. I thought I had a big...
This one?
Thank you, yes. I think it just got, like, moved. I needed putty to get my blitzer back on his base. I'm back! First mistake was cleaning the desk. I agree. Apparently, I just need to leave it messy so that I can actually find my stuff. Noted. I needed it. It was causing me anxiety with how busy it was, though. It's like, no, I need to clean this. Also, I didn't want fibers to get in my paint. Especially since I'm about to be using a lot of really pale color tones. Oh shit, no, actually, before we use the pale color tones, let me just stick him in kind of like, yeah, that works. We need to paint his shoes. Because I forgot to do that when I was painting him earlier. So first thing, Dark Oath Flesh. Thank you. I appreciate it. It's lovely to be here with you all. Thank you for sticking around. Oh, I'll have CC answer your question about his favorite Blood Bowl team in a moment. I don't know where he went. I don't know if he's coming back, but when he does, you'll remember to remind me to ask him again. I trust in that you will do this for me. All right, let's go ahead and get some brown paint on these beautiful boots. Because I want them to stand out a little bit. I thought about just like really gothing them up and going full black and red and white color scheme, but I really actually liked what they did on the box art, although I did make some variations. On the box, the ball that the thrower has, it is also painted brown, like a traditional football. Sorry, I said that as if it was a soccer ball. American football. But I decided to make mine thematic and actually paint it black and red like the rest of the team. However, I did keep all the boots and the belts and some of the straps all painted in leathers because I thought it complemented everything really nicely. Over just keeping it too homogeneous. Like, I like some consistency, I do, but I also do like some variety. Ooh, that is pooling horrendously bad. Let's just clear some of that. Clear some of that out. We'll let it dry, and then we'll add a second layer. Oh, that's awesome! Rudy, I absolutely do not mind. I will, let me know approximately when you think it might arrive so I can keep an eye, because my P.O. box, it's a little bit awkward, and I just want to call this out for anybody who's been sending me anything, because I want to let people know, one, I really appreciate it, absolutely going and picking that stuff up, but one of my vendors that I work with, I kind of have a weird contact with them, and like, so I'm not actually like emailing them normally. Whenever they send me stuff, it's random. It's randomly done, and I don't know if I like contact them with a new PO address, like PO box address, if they'll see that. And I don't really want to like lose this sponsorship because it's a good one. And so I haven't changed my PO box. So my PO box is an hour
They seem to come at the same time for all influencers too, because I remember Valrak ended up getting his last shipment of Joy Toy.
Yeah.
About the same time we did.
Yeah.
So it just seems to go in waves.
And I don't know, again, I don't know if I reach out to Joy Toy whether or not they'll get the updated address. So I just haven't changed it. I've left the P.O. box where it is. I figured that would just be easier. But that does mean that it's like an hour and 20 minutes from where I live now. So getting there is not as easy as it used to be. So I can't go as often. I'm trying to go like once a week, once every week and a half, or every 2 weeks. But like, honestly, I might have to increase it just because I have been getting a lot of stuff. But thank you so much. I absolutely do not mind. The P.O. box is always open for you to send things to. If you do, just try to, like, again, contact with me on, like, Instagram or email me to let me know that it's coming so that I know I should definitely go and check the P.O. box. Because if I don't think that anything's coming for a while, then I don't bother to make the trip over there because it's not super far, but it's far enough to be annoying, you know? Like, it ends up being, like, a 3-hour round trip just to go to my P.O. box, which, again...
Well, tomorrow you gotta go for the meeting anyway.
Oh, yeah, tomorrow at least it's nice because I have my IPMS meeting. So I'm going anyways. I'm going over that direction anyways.
Remember where the backdrops are? They downstairs in the kitchen?
They were downstairs in the kitchen on the bins. They might still be on the shelves next to it, but they were definitely down there. If they may have been moved. They may have been moved into the garage on one of the shelves in there. Oh, wait, before you go.
Beastmen or Black Orcs?
So, Chaos Cultist's favorite Blood Bowl teams are either the Beastmen or the Black Orcs. Ha!
I like to hit things.
He likes to hit things, which, I mean, I don't blame him. It's very fun to do in this game. Alright, we're just letting this fella dry a little bit. While we're doing that, this guy's on a base. He's ready to go. Let's get him on one of my stands with this little bit of putty. No worries, Rudy. No problem. September 15th. Okay, perfect. Honestly, let's go ahead and message me on Discord. It'll probably make me accept your friend request first, but that's fine. But just go ahead and message me on Discord. I think that's a little bit easier, especially when it's for business related stuff. You like ogres? Nice. They are really fun, aren't they? The ogre team is really good. I like having them because you can run a full ogre team if I'm correct, right? Would it be tough because they also have the really stupid rule in Blood Bowl? Also, Ryan, do you mean you like ogres in Age of Sigmar or in Blood Bowl specifically? Or are you talking about 40k? Because 40k technically has ogres to some degree, don't they? I guess they're technically called Ogrin in that regard, aren't they? Isn't that what the name for the Imperial Guard unit is? That's like the big burly dude. It's the guy that's in, yeah, Ogrin, because it's the same character that's the same archetype. I don't know actually how they refer to class as you get in Darktide, right? There's the Ogrin character in that. In Blood Bowl, can you run ogres by themselves, or are the ogres only ever with other teams? Red Panda, you're biased towards the dwarf team? I understand. I didn't show you. I haven't shown you the refs. You weren't here earlier. Hold on, let me show you. As this is for everybody who missed it earlier or... Are you okay? I think he bumped something. So, speaking of dwarves, check out the dwarf ref that CC painted. I love the stripes. They're super clean. I love the blue and the gold on the book. Also, free-handed the line on the base. Look how straight that is. Free-handed all of the stripes, too. I just think he did a really good job. But so, here's the dwarf. Also, love how the beard turned out. The beard turned out really nice. And then here is the elf. He free-handed the X, which I think looks really, really crisp and clean. Love that. Free-handed the lines on the referee jacket, and then dry brushed the heck out of that quill, and it just looks so good. I love how soft and textured it looks. Like, it really looks like you could just run your fingers through it and it would be feather-like. So I'm very, very pleased with how they turned out. I'm bringing them to my tournament. They're going to be on the sidelines. I don't know if I'm actually going to be using them as, like, in-game units specifically, but I want them there to look badass. Right? The really good-looking refs. I think he did an excellent job. Like, he doesn't do a lot of freehand normally. Like, he doesn't do a lot of striping or patterns or anything. So I was incredibly impressed when he was like, yeah, I did the freehand of the lines. And I was like, whoa, what? Sick. I love it. So way, way impressed with what he did. Absolutely excited. Oh, it's Ogres and the Nobblers. Okay. That's who it is. Thank you, Ryan. Okay, I wasn't 100% sure because I'm like, I know I have a bunch of teams now, but like there's so many and they're all so varied. That's the fun thing. I also love how many different star players you can take. Did you know that there's a squirrel who was a star player? And that is just amazing. I had forgotten, but then I was looking through the Spike magazine for my vampires and I saw that the vampires could take the squirrel. I was like, that's so funny. I wasn't expecting a squirrel to be a character that I could take as one of my star players. Absolutely, Rudy. Absolutely. Oh, holy shit. I've had this Tamiya brush for so long that I just pulled the fennel completely out of the wood. How crazy is that? Like, holy fuck. Hold on, let me fix my brush here for a second. Clearly I did just buy some new ones. I must be using the old one. Wow, I use this brush so much. I think I've had this same brush for like 2 years, so I'm not surprised that it's finally falling apart on me. Ooh, yeah, that is not sticking in there anymore. Well, let me just switch to a different brush. I might need to go grab a different brush. Oh no, here's one. You want to see what I just did?
What?
This is our really, really old Tamiya brush.
That's the one I've been using.
No, this is the one I've been using.
Oh.
Yeah. It just slid out. Can
you re-glue it in?
I think so. But I need to get normal super glue. We don't have any normal super glue right now. We just have the extra thin cement, which will not work on a metal to wood bond. So, we might be able to Gorilla Glue it. That might work. But yeah, that's our 2-year-old one.
Or maybe we should order new brushes.
Well, I remember I did just before we moved. That's the other one that you've, I think, been using.
We should order more.
Okay, fine, we'll order more. I use them a lot. I really like these brushes.
Yeah, I mean, I painted almost everything with that brush recently.
Yeah, no, I have two. I actually have 3 treemen. I have plans for them. I wanted to do each of them in a different color scheme as if they were going through the various seasons. So my idea was to do a spring, summer, and fall themed one because I don't think it'll really work for a winter theme because it still has all of its leaves and I don't want to snip any of it. Although that might be an idea for the future if I get a 4th, but I definitely want to... What? Oh, I could do covered in snow. So I might do a spring, a fall, and a winter then and skip summer. Because I feel like spring and summer are probably going to look very similar. So I can either do young tree growth or more vibrant greens and have it be more of a summer theme. And that can feel very similar. So it'll be that and then a fall and then maybe a winter one where I actually do some dude, honestly, snowfall on top would be really, really cool. Thank you for subscribing, Pointy Hats. It's lovely to have you as part of the channel. I hope you enjoy your time here. Try epoxy gel glue. That's actually what I was wanting to get. So I need to go to... I realized I was out of focus. Let me fix that real fast. Okay. I need to go to Harbor Freight and get a couple of things. But I'm kind of waiting to do that until my garage is cleared because I have plans for the garage that require me to get some tools as well as going there and getting some workbenches. And so I have plans for some Lowe's, Home Depot, and Harbor Freight shopping in the near future. It's just I need to clear the garage first. But I need to get some gel glue. I just need to get some normal super glue just in general anyways, because I have none. I have absolutely none. I had Zap-A-Gap for like the longest time, but I was doing something either with resin or assembling a miniature of some variety recently, and it just stopped working. Like, I think it just was old. I think I just like completely, I think it just failed because it was just a really old bottle. I had this bottle of glue, like it was one of those big ones, one of the big Zap-A-Gap bottles. I had it for like 6 years. I think it just expired because it just stopped sticking. And so I need to get a new one. No, you don't. Red Panda, you've sent me plenty. It's okay. I mean, if you want to, you can. I will not stop you. How can I stop you? You can go to a post box and do whatever you want. My P.O. box is public, so it's not like I can stop you. But I could have one for all 4 seasons. It would be ridiculous. Listen, it's a long-term plan, and I do have some ideas for that. I also, because one of the things I want to do when I do this is I actually want to put some like genuine like tufting on it, and maybe get some like woodland scenic stuff and actually do that, because I think that would be super, super cool. I saw somebody, I can't remember who it was on Instagram, I know that for certain, but I saw somebody who was using the Gamer's Graph tufts, and they were attaching it to the house that you get as a terrain piece for Oathsworn, if you're familiar with that board game. And I thought it was the coolest thing. And ever since I saw that, one, I wanted to do that to my own terrain piece because I just thought it looked super cool. But also, I thought the idea would be really cool to do on other terrain pieces as well as on these trees, and like do some like moss growth on the sides of them if it's appropriate for the season, and then do actual like leaves on the top to make it a little bit more genuine. I think it's just be really cool. Do I need 2 for the gnome team? Well, I mean, thankfully I have 3 already, so I definitely have that covered for the team. They'll probably get the fall and summer one, or the fall and spring one. Just because I plan on doing a very vibrant, very springtime color scheme on my gnomes. Like, okay. So while I paint a second layer on these boots finally, because I'm just gabbing to you, completely wasting my time, and not painting like I should be. What was I gonna say? Focus, Angela, focus. So I want to do a pastel color scheme on the gnomes. That was my idea. I've seen some other people, including Pastel Hammer on Instagram, do some really beautiful pastel color tones on totally things that are very less appropriate for pastel, but it still looks fucking cool, and I'm so glad she did it. But I thought it would look really neat, and I think it would be very appropriate to try on the gnomes. So I think that's what I'm going to do for them. I thought about doing very similar to their box art and going the classic garden gnome look, because they literally are sort of spoofing that. But I sort of want to make them a bit more soft, a little, like almost Easter-like. Not exactly, but like in that kind of range of colors. You really are. You are very much the reason for all of this Blood Bowl distraction. But listen, I love it. Chaos Cultist and I have been playing some Blood Bowl games, and it's been super fun. I've got some friends who are getting into it, and we're gonna have our practice games soon for the tournament, which is gonna be awesome. Like, I am genuinely enjoying my time with this game. And as I've mentioned, like, even before everything, like, one of the reasons that I love it is just it's so volatile. There's so many wacky things that can happen, like what happened with the troll and the goblin and my vampire runner stealing the ball from them, that it's like, it's just, you don't get quite the same ridiculous stories out of other game systems, as like other GW game systems specifically, as much as you do from Blood Bowl. And that narrative element is so much fun to me. Apologies, I have a little bit of phlegm in my throat and I was trying to clear it. I think sorting, I haven't looked through the entire collection of the loose teams. I sort of looked at the box and went, oh my gosh, there's a lot in here even after seeing that all the sealed boxes that you sent. But it doesn't seem like it's going to be too difficult to sort out, honestly. It looks like there's like, I mean, you labeled things really well. Like you kept it very, very organized. So thank you for that. Yeah, I haven't, honestly, if you want to send a couple of different epoxies and stuff like that, since I know that you're already planning on sending me a couple things for Halloween, if you want to include that, I will absolutely take it, sir, especially since I assume you probably get a little bit of a discount considering you get it from work, and I will take that. It's very much appreciated, but it's up to you, man. It's totally up to you. It's definitely something I will be going and getting myself anyways, because you can never have too much epoxy / glues for this kind of stuff. My goodness. I have so many spare bottles of the Tamiya plastic extra thin cement stuff. It's great.
Can I have the mini?
Oh, yes. Sorry, for a moment I was like, what?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Goodbye, vampire thrower. He's about to be... I'm assuming you're, are you taking the footage of him?
Yes.
Nice! I finished doing... Finished? What the fuck am I saying? Man, I need to learn to enunciate. I finished filming all of the vocal portions for the painting tutorial, which will be out this Tuesday, which is entirely focused on this team. Do you want any of the linemen with him? Oh, do you want me to come take care of that? Okay, yes. Guys, I will be right back. One of my cats decided to be an asshole and pooped on the floor. Be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, the cat has been dealt with. Okay.
The 2 blockers you want me to include?
Any 2 blockers that you want. Here, here. Let's take Riff Raff, because that's gonna be his name. That's his name, right? That's what we decided.
Yep.
Okay, and then here's the guy with the bat.
Cool. Thank you.
You're welcome. Do you want the ball in the bat, maybe?
No, I'm good.
Okay, that's true. He's carrying a ball, so never mind. All right, we're back. I do have a throne wish list, Robert. You can find that in my link tree, which should be linked in the video description. You can always find all of my links to my socials, my wish lists, really anything there. Just FYI, the throne wish list is a little naughty, but it's categorized and I organized everything, so hopefully that makes it easier. But thank you. Yes, I do. I have no idea, Red Panda, what the actual plan for like any post-game kind of stuff is. My personal plan is I'm hoping, one, to get enough photos that I can then write up a like what would it be called? Like what, like a play-by-play? A what? Yes, a play-by-play. Okay, yes, a play-by-play report. I'm glad I was remembering the correct word. My hope is that I'm going to have enough photos and be able to write up an interesting and in-theme style play-by-play report for what happens, at least with my games. I don't know if like the plan for the tournament is to like collect everybody's, if everybody's doing that or whatever, but that's at least my plan. I'll probably be posting that on basically on all of my socials. The only place that wouldn't end up being posted in full probably is on Twitter, because character limit, and I ain't fucking paying Elon Musk any money. So yeah, that won't happen. But I will, and I'm too lazy to do multiple tweets beyond just two. I'm not on there for that. I use it for advertising. That's pretty much it. Whereas like Instagram and Facebook and the YouTube community, I will probably do the longer full report and you'll be able to see things. I'll probably also share that on the Discord as well. You'll probably actually get it on Discord and as a YouTube members post beforehand. So if you are part of either my Patreon and therefore on my private Discord server, or you are a YouTube member, then you will see that before anybody else in the community does. I do try to share some of those kinds of things early with you when I can. I'm very busy though, so sometimes it doesn't always happen, but that will definitely happen because I think that's really cool. Like, I love those kinds of things. It's something that I did with the League previously, and a lot of the other League members did as well, and it was super, super wild and always fun to read because there were some crazy things that happened in some of those games. Oh, well, excellent. I appreciate that, Robert. They always end up being a surprise off the Throne wish list. I mark them to be secret, so I never know what's coming. So it's always really exciting when those arrive. I have no idea what's going to be at the P.O. Box tomorrow. I am expecting a couple things from that wish list that I don't think have arrived yet. So that'll be exciting if that's arrived, but I have no idea what is there. All right, I think the boots look good. They are the color that I want them to be. I think they're fully painted. I'm going to pop them off here real fast. Oh, look, I left one little spot. Of course, I always do. That's fine. We'll let that dry and then we'll put him back on the base normally, and we can actually work on his flesh tone. Now, I'm going to talk about this in my tutorial, but I found in my collection Vampiric Mist, which is an MSP paint, which is Master Series paint from Reaper Bones. And it is a beautiful, like, blue-gray, like, whitish hue. Perfect for this vampire team. It looks so good. I did it on my runner, my thrower. I was super pleased. So I'm very excited to work, like, doing more of this. Honestly, like, if you... that's the thing, is I know a lot of people who are sports fans and really get into Blood Bowl, and that's completely valid. And I think it's a perfectly sound and, like, reasonable reason to get into the game. It's obviously not one-to-one with football, but it is very derivative of it. It's got a lot of rugby in it as well. Like, that's a thing that, like, I think some people don't realize because they always call it, like, it's always referenced as football, but it does have a lot of rugby in it. But honestly, that just makes it, like, it's a good combo. It's a good combo of both games with very approachable hobby projects. And I love that. That's really my favorite thing about it. I believe it does, but I'm not 100% sure, Robert. I think I have it set up to do that, though. I know it does that definitely on the... Yes, it does. Yes, it does. I don't need this. Why am I opening the brown? I punched you. I'm so sorry. I guess technically that's you. This is my painting camera. So I punched my painting camera. I'm so sorry, camera. You don't deserve such treatment. Good evening, Lummox B75. Stop trying to drink your paint water, Angela. It is directly in front of me, and it's mostly clear right now because I haven't dirtied it with too many colors yet. So it keeps looking mildly fresh, and I keep going for it. It's not drinkable. I mean, it probably would be okay if I took a sip, but no. I'm gonna put my water bottle physically next to it. Nope, that's in camera. Never mind. Over here, can I put it? Nope, that's still on camera. Okay, never mind. I'm not gonna put my water bottle physically next to it. I'm just gonna cry a little bit as I keep reaching for it to try to drink from it. Terrible. But it's delicious. No, 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 don't drink your paint water. Please don't drink your paint water. I know they're non-toxic now, but you still probably shouldn't drink your paint water. You put your coffee cup next to your paint water all the time. I have done that. It's one of the reasons I actually specifically don't use coffee mugs or like drinking mugs as my paint cups. Because I used to do that when like back in the day, and too many times I accidentally would pick up the water cup. Because I had the Gen, like if you've ever gone to Gen Con, especially when they have food trucks there, a lot of food trucks will sometimes get like special printed products that they use for the Gen Con people because they're specifically at Gen Con to sell to the convention goers. Like that's why they all gather. So there was a pizza place that did this, and we got these like really just cute, cheap little pizza cups for like our sodas or whatever. That said Gen Con on them. They were these like green things, and they were a standard like, you know, cup about yay big or whatever. That's what I used to use as my paint cup. And yeah, I grabbed it too many times. You've noticed that contrast paints taste worse than normal paints? Well, more reason to not drink the water, because I use contrast paints all the time. I could believe that also. There's like, they put a chemical in it to make it more fluid. So yeah, you're probably drinking that chemical. Like it's not the acrylic, it's not the paint pigments that are necessarily bad for you. It's the other shit that's in the paint. Yeah, it's this one. This is the paint cup that I used to use. So I have this Gen Con cup, and as you can see, I'm trying to get it into a little bit more light because it's backlit a little bit for you guys. But yeah, it was for like, was it Hot Box Pizza? Is that what it says? Yes.
Yeah.
So it was a food truck that was there, but they got these cups printed specifically that had the little dragon on it and had Gen Con written on it. And I thought it was really, really cute. And so I used to use this as my painting cup. That's why it's like, you can see the inside, it's all paint covered still because I never like fully cleaned it. But I had to stop using this as my paint cup because it is literally a cup. And so it's like like I would go grab it and try to drink from it too often. So now it's just a little storage cup thing that I use. And I caved and I bought the Citadel paint pot. I do like the ridges though. I do actually like the ridges. Don't drink the water and wear a mask while airbrushing. I agree. That way you're not breathing in the particles. Yeah, Lummox, see, I'm the exact same way. I ended up caving and just buying the Citadel painting cup for that exact reason. Because I was like, nope, this is distinctive. It's still a good size. It holds, I think, the amount of water that I personally prefer. I actually do like the ridges on the side to help break some of the paint up because I am unfortunately one of those people that occasionally will let my contrast paints dry into my brushes a little bit. And I feel bad about it, but at least helps get it out. And yeah, it works really well. So, okay. Let's get that vampiric mist out and actually get painting in this, how long have I been going? Like 3 hours or something, and I haven't put much paint on this model at all. Where was I using this in? You know what? It doesn't fucking matter, does it? They're all dry. Boop. Boop. All right. It's just this really beautiful, slightly tinted blue-white color tone, and it's gonna be awesome for our vampire. All right, am I focused? Yes, we look good. This guy's gonna be fun because he's bald and he's got his little angry face. He reminds me of a handsome Nosferatu. Like, I think he's just meant to be Nosferatu-esque with his, like, giant ears and bald head, but he's not, like, misshapen enough. He's very even and symmetrical, so I'm like, oh, he's the most handsome Nosferatu there is. Nice! I think everybody should give Blood Bowl a chance if they get the opportunity to. It is genuinely a super fun game. And even if it just ends up being for painting reasons. Because painting the miniatures for Blood Bowl is very, very fun. You don't feel... I personally don't feel as restrictive by, like, what you see Games Workshop do for it, or, like, just chapter colors or anything. I mean, I did literally follow the box art for this particular team, so I feel like I'm a kettle calling a pot black or whatever, but, like, I just think it was appropriate for this team. They're literally Dracula vampires. Like, why would you not use the red, black, white Dracula Bram Stoker color scheme? I mean, come on. The conversation with the community is just important as painting. You're absolutely right. I completely agree. To the point where I absolutely prioritize the conversation over painting sometimes. Oh my lord, do I. Oh my gosh. But yeah, this color, like, look how just beautiful. Even at this, like, small, like, this greater distance that you guys are, which, like, here, let me show you a little close-up of him. I'm going the wrong direction for the camera. Hold on. Just, like, look how nice that, like, flesh tone is for him. It's white, but there's, like, a subtle blue. A subtle blue that your eye picks up, and it's just so good. And we're going to enhance that subtle blue in a bit, but we'll get to that. First, we need to finish just, you know, getting him painted with this base coat. We'll do his hands. Make sure to get, like, we'll make sure to do a double coat on his face, just because I know, like, this ear, for example, I can tell has some black on it from when I painted his armor. Let's go ahead and try to clean that up. Oh, yeah. Also here on his chin. Without getting too much on the red, please, Angela. That'd be great. Sorry, I know that my head's getting in the way when I lean in to do the fine detail. I apologize. I'll try not to do that as much. I need the light. I'm actually gonna bring... There we go. Huzzah! Nice. So what team did you used to run, and what wow, it was really shiny there. Wow, I look super oily. Sorry. That's not what's important. Please tell me what season or what edition of Blood Bowl did you used to play in, and what team did you run? What was your favorite team to play? Lummox Beast, you're running goblins with a couple of trolls? That's so good. That is so... trolls are so fun. They're unpredictable. I love their really stupid rule. It's one of the reasons, actually, my vampires have been so interesting, because they also have a role that you have to make and succeed prior to them being able to do anything. So they activate, but then they get, like, bloodthirst, I think is what it's called. I don't remember what the rule is, like, specifically named, but it's like bloodthirst or something similar to that. And basically, depending on what's in the parentheses next to the rule's name, that's the role that your vampire must make, or they have to buy a thrall that they end next to, and if they don't, then there's problems. So it's been really fun to sort of navigate around that, and I feel like the troll ends up doing that a little bit too with a really stupid role, and it's always really fun. I am absolutely loving the new place, Luxembourg. Or Luxembeast, sorry. I am absolutely loving the new space. It is honestly everything I had hoped for. And I legitimately mean that. So we're in an actual house, which is great. We have lived in apartments or some sort of like duplex type things for basically the entire time that we've been together. And so this is our first like house together where we actually have a backyard. Now it's not like huge or anything like that, but it's still enough where I can do some gardening. We can set up a grill, etc. We can set up some of our patio furniture and like do things because it's a nice like, we are actually very lucky and we have a, concrete backyard that has a little side area where there's still some like fresh dirt and everything so that I can set up a garden, but also have the concrete so that we can set up a grill and all that thing, and I don't have to worry about like watering grass or keeping it healthy. Love it. So we have that, and that's great for the backyard. We also have a little bit of a front yard, which has some like flowers and other plants in it, which just makes me happy because as I've gotten older, and I kind of knew this a little bit when I was younger, but it's something that I realized as I was older and like was living more in like cities. I need to be around plants. I like sunlight. I get really depressed if I have like long periods of time without a lot of sunlight. I could never live in a really rainy part of the world. Sorry, everybody in England. I don't think I could live there. I think I'd cry. I think I would be very sad because I know it gets really, really rainy consistently there. But don't really have to worry about that where I am now. That's fine. I really haven't had to worry about that since moving in California, like however long ago. I think I've been here 14 years or something like that. It's crazy. It's the longest I've ever lived in one state for the wild. It's a wild situation. What was the point of this? I was talking about, oh, how happy I was with my new place. So I have the front yard, which is great. Have some plants there. Have a little like space where I can set up other additional plants like leading up to my doorway and everything. Again, like I said, I can have trick-or-treaters actually come to my door. Oh, it's so exciting. I can't wait to see their costumes. It's gonna be so good. I love Halloween. So excited. And then we have like more rooms than like, I have enough rooms that I've been able to actually claim one of them as a dedicated space for me to do my spicy content. And that's very exciting for me because I've always wanted to, like, ever since I started doing that kind of content, I've always wanted to have a space where I could do some like impromptu, like Bordeaux style, like shoots and that kind of stuff, let alone have like some of my things out and just on display for myself because I like looking at them without having to worry about when guests come over and possibly seeing them and having to hide them or anything like that. I can just lock the door to the room because all of my doors have locks on them. Isn't that awesome? And so like, it's really, really nice. I'm very excited about the new space. If that wasn't obvious. Okay. We need to finish painting his flesh tone. I got too distracted about talking about my new house. I'm very grateful. By the way, it was very scary when we first found out that we needed to move. But honestly, like just the support of the community here and on my other socials and such, it really made it so that we were able to. And I very much appreciate that. I'm gonna bring us a little bit this way. Is that? It's gonna bother me that we're not even though. Is that better? That's a little bit better. Am I focused? Okay, I'm gonna bring you down a smidge. If I do that, yeah, you guys can still see me. And now I can be super zoomed in. Boop, 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 boop. Focusing. There we go. Look how beautiful he is. Now you can see his snarling face in all of its glory. As I absolutely oversaturate it with paint. Whoops. It's fine. It's fine. It's still wet. We can pull it back. go ahead and get his fangs. That way we don't have to worry about it later. And then I'm going to flip him this way. Reset my focus. There we go. Because I need to get on this side and I want to avoid hitting that red panel on his shoulder if I can. I might need to switch to a smaller brush. I'll check back in with you guys in just a second. Let me focus on this for a moment. If he goes off camera or something like that, I apologize. But I'm doing some delicate work here, so forgive me. The paint is my priority right now. I know, it's blasphemous. I'm just talking to myself because I don't know what else to do because I can't look at you right now. I'm sorry. Ooh, I need to get his neck. Can I? Yes, I can see it from this side. You get anywhere between 75 to 200 trick-or-treaters? That's so cool. I'm really hoping that that's what I experience this year. Mostly because so our neighborhood is relatively large and I see plenty of kids around, and we have a park really close nearby and there's always kids at it. And I always see like different groups of them. So I know that there's a minimum probably like 20 to 40 kids at least in our immediate neighborhood that I see out and about, let alone I assume we'll see some goth kids come out during the holiday season because it's spooky season and when that's when goth kids come out. So I'm optimistic for that. And then in addition to that, we are super close by to another neighborhood directly across like this small main street, but totally walkable, definitely drivable if the parents want to like minivan their kids over to the next neighborhood to continue to get more candy. So there's that. And then there's also one that is like, it's not even a main street that separates us, but it's definitely like separated by a wall at a certain point. Like there's a sidewalk that connects it, but then it loops and there's eventually a wall. And that's also a separate neighborhood. So we have two adjacent neighborhoods on top of our own neighborhood, all of which I have seen kids in because we are literally like a few blocks from an elementary school, like a block, I think, from an elementary school. I can see it on my normal like gym walk. So it's around. So there's going to be tons of kids, I'm hoping. So I'm hoping to see that scale of children. I've already started collecting full-size candy bars and Pokemon cards every time I've gone out to the grocery store in anticipation of hopefully having an absurd number of children that I can absolutely hype up on sugar and then maniacally laugh as their parents have to deal with them. That's my objective. I'm one of those types of people. I don't have kids myself, but I will absolutely spoil your children and make them hyper on candy. I don't have to deal with them later. Goodbye. When your camera is set up like that, is there a time when you use the monitor camera screen, or are you mostly looking directly at the model? I mostly look at the model directly. I try to give myself enough of a gap between where the camera's lens is and where I can still see it. But there are occasionally times where I will use the monitor. Honestly, I should probably learn to use the monitor a little bit more so that I don't accidentally fall out of focus, which happens sometimes. But yeah, no, I normally look at the miniature because I have a problem where if I'm looking at the model, I sometimes like misjudge. Like I'm looking at the, I should probably re-add paint to my brush. Hold on. Also refocus on the hand. So let's try painting the hand in that exact way because it's difficult. I actually find that I misjudge my depth of field. Like I have a bad sense of depth of field when I'm looking at the camera. But I'm going to try it. Let's see. So my brush is coming into focus, so I must be getting close. There we go. Yeah, I feel so much slightly awkwarder than when I'm looking at the mini. I also have a harder time telling what I'm looking at. Yeah, no, it's actually very difficult for me to do that. Wowsy. Yowzy, wowsy. Sorry, I was channeling my Bray Wyatt there. Let's refocus that. Yeah, I find that I tend to look at the miniature, actually. almost exclusively, I think. I think there's like maybe times... Oh, you know, the main time actually that I've looked at the screen is specifically when I've been painting eyes. I think that's one of the main times that I've done it. But that's mostly because if I'm filming it, I want to make sure that I'm staying in focus. Ah, excellent. Chaos Cultist just sent me the videos for the turnarounds, and I'm excited to look at those later. Let's get beautiful. Well, I haven't like opened them or anything. I just saw that you sent them. Oh, those are the photos. Excellent. There was somebody giving rotisserie chickens out for Halloween. Holy shit! That is the house you want to go to. You're not getting candy. You're getting a dinner. Happy motherfrackin' Halloween, everybody. Dude, that would actually be really cool. What an exciting thing to do. What a generous thing to do. Gosh, how much must that cost that person? How many rotisserie chickens did they give out, I wonder? I'm trying to think what the most like ridiculous thing that I've gotten as a trick-or-treat, like when I would trick-or-treat. I think it's just full-size candy bars. I don't think I ever got anything like super like weird. Like I've definitely got like popcorn bags and like that kind of stuff, but like no homemade treats. No one ever really did that. I think everybody was kind of scared to do that. Unless it was like Rice Krispie stuff. I think I had that sometimes. Oh, I had the like people would do like, hell, I think my mom did this one year. No, that was just for class though. The pretzels with chocolate on them, where they make them in little shapes. Here is a whole chicken. Enjoy! Happy Halloween! That would be such an insane thing to receive. That's what I'm hoping for, Havman. I want to be the house that all the kids next year, they're like, oh man, we gotta go to that house. Remember last year they gave out like full candy bars of Pokemon cards? We gotta go there again. I want to be that house. And then that way I can torture them next time. And I can set up a scary haunted house that they must go through in order to achieve their candy, because I got them hooked on coming to my house for said candy. And now I get to take advantage of them. No, I'm kidding. But I do actually want to set up a haunted house next time. But yes, I want to be the cool house that all the kids want to go to. That would be my absolute goal in life. That's like on my like bucket list of things to achieve in adulthood. Be cool house on street for Halloween. That is both creepy, but you get good treats. So the creepiness is worth it. Let's see, Red Panda, you said your favorite house when you were a kid was a guy who owned a local food distribution center, and he gave out boxes of king-size... Boxes? Boxes of king-size candy bars? Holy shit, that is the oh my god, what? If you own a food distribution center and you're not doing that, you are failing as a distribution center manager. That is the way to do it. That is insane. I have to. It was always my favorite thing. There was always a few houses on any of the, because I moved around a lot as a kid because I was a military brat. So like I made sure to like scope out, because since I knew I was only going to be there for a couple years, the first year that I would go trick-or-treating, like when I was old enough to comprehend that there were people who would give you full-size candy bars and you could like get them and guarantee that if you like went there early enough and made sure that they still had some when you like, etc. So like I would scope out between like ages, I don't know, like 9 or so to 14-ish when I stopped being able to trick-or-treat, like because certain adults just were like cringe, stopped doing that, and they would refuse to give me candy and I was sad. So I would scope out a path, and I would find the houses that would be like give the good stuff, and I would make sure to get to those houses relatively early in the night when I knew they would still have all their good stuff. And then there would also sometimes be some that would hold it out until the very end of the night, and so you'd also have to wait. So you'd have to plan. I was thinking, I love Halloween. And so I was also a menace. I had to do that. And I always wanted to be one of the houses that was one of the cool houses that people would scope out to find out, like, okay, oh man, that house has the full-size candy bars. Let's make sure to go there. That's what I want. I am planning on keeping a lot of my Halloween decor out all year round. Like, the majority of the little lights that I have out in my front yard right now for Halloween, these little like glowing skulls that I got off Amazon, once the season's over, I'm not putting those suckers away. They're just going in my backyard. And I will still continue to use them and see how long those suckers last. So far, I've been pretty excited because they're solar powered. So they charge all day, and then they last for like a couple, like I think max like 4 to 6 hours or something like that. Off of their solar charge, and that's perfectly reasonable for the trick-or-treaters and stuff. So I'm really excited for that, and I'm just gonna put them in my backyard where they won't bother anybody, but I'll still be able to enjoy them. Because I will absolutely also go crazy for Christmas. Like, my 2 favorite holidays are Christmas and Halloween. Shock and awe, I know. Everybody's completely thrown off by that. It's completely unexpected. No one on the planet who has the favorite holiday of both Halloween and Christmas. That's unheard of. Have I made my sarcasm obvious yet? But I plan on doing some major decorating for Halloween as well, because I have a yard, and I am totally going to get a family of snowmen that are blown up, because we absolutely fucking do not get snow in California where I live. And so I have to get inflatable snowmen, and they will be a family of them, and they will be in my yard. It will happen. Look at me in the eyes. It's gonna happen. You have a decorative skull? See, I have 2 skulls. I have a small, I haven't been to Spirit yet. But that is definitely on my list. We are definitely going to be getting some... I should put those skulls out on the porch right now because it's Halloween. I didn't even think about that. Oh my god. Saul, that's such a great idea. That is such a fucking good idea. I hadn't even thought about that. I can't wait. I'm going to do that later. I'm going to do that tomorrow. It's going to be one of my objectives tomorrow. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I hadn't even thought of that. Yes, a skull collection is fantastic, and you can totally... Oh my god. Keep it around all the time. I'm going to expand my skull collection. I actually... So in the downtown area where I live, which I will be going back to on this Saturday. I unfortunately didn't get to this past Saturday. I didn't get to go to the farmer's market. Oops, sorry. Let me get back on camera. I didn't get to go to the farmer's market like I originally planned to, just because things came up. But I'm planning on going this coming Saturday, and while I'm there, I may swing into there's an antique store that's like just permanently there in that area, and I might swing in if they're open and see what they have Halloween-wise, because I think I saw 2 weeks ago when I was there, I think I saw them have a bunch of Halloween stuff in their window, and they may have some cool, like, weird skulls in there. Not real skulls. I don't think they're like that kind of antique store. Like, they're not an oddities type, but they may have some decorative ones, and that would be really cool, actually. That's a good call. Oh, barrel full of candy? Have been. That's amazing. Oh, Red Panda. See, that is the best. Those are my favorite kinds of houses. The ones that make you work for it. I love, like, having to trek and, like, be terrified walking down this super long, like... See, I don't have a super long driveway like that, unfortunately, which is why I want to make, like, a pseudo maze or something. Like, I want to put up, like, fake walls that they have to path through. Like, not even an actual maze. It'll be literally, like, an S shape or something like that. But I think it would be really fun. I thought about actually using my backyard and having them loop, but there's not a second exit around the other side. There's just the one exit, and the backyard is not large enough where I think I could have people coming and going out of the same entryway, and I don't want them going through my garage. So I'm just going to do it on the front. So I think what I will like do is I'll move the car, set it somewhere else, and like park it somewhere else on that day. And that will allow me to set up some sort of like wall structure, which is one of the reasons I want to get into doing some carpentry, because I think that could be really cool. And then I could like make like holes in the walls where I could stand and I could scare them or something, or Chaos Cultist could. Oh, so many ideas, so many grand ideas. We'll see if I ever get to them. Yeah, skulls are the best decoration year-round. You're absolutely correct. You're absolutely correct. What do I need now? I need Apothecary White. That's what we need. Skulls are the best. It's one of the, I mean, that's why we all love 40K, right? We all got sucked in because we were like, wow, look at how many skulls they've put everywhere. This is extremely exciting. I've never seen so many skulls. And I mean, like, that's like literally half of what drew me in. I'm not lying. It was partially the skulls. I just thought they were so cool. I don't remember who it was. I remember who it was now. Somebody I was watching earlier today who was playing Space Marine 2 was like saying that the mark, what is it? Is it 7? Is that what we're wearing? What are we wearing at the beginning of Space Marine 2? It's Mark 6? Mark 7? Whatever the early, like, Firstborn Son edition armor that we were wearing at the very beginning of Space Marine 2, while we were being the Death Watch. He was complaining that they had too many skulls on that armor, and I was watching it going, sir, you are just wrong. You are wrong. In fact, this armor could have more skulls on it. I don't know what you were on about. He was saying that there was minimum 3 skulls. That was the maximum 3 skulls. And I was like, that is an absurdly low number of skulls for Space Marine armor. How dare you even suggest such a thing? That's true. You're absolutely right. They do often represent a connection to your ancestors. It's honestly why, like, why I really like the sugar skull design. I think that is such a cool way to connect with your ancestor and still have it be a very fun, decorative, and vibrant piece that you can leave out. And it's like, there's still some, like, morbidity, I suppose, to it in some degree, but you also have managed to make it a playful element of your environment, and I just love that. Mark 7? Okay, thank you. I thought it was, but I was like, I wasn't 100% sure, and I'm terrible about that kind of thing, so I was worried I had gotten it wrong, and then the neckbeards would come for me. There really aren't any neckbeards here on this channel. Like, you guys are so good. You're all wonderful. There we go. We're in focus. Just had to shift it around a little bit. Okay. Let's clean that up a little bit. I want it to be a little heavy. I do want that blue tone to really settle in there because I am going to do some highlighting to bring out, to pull back some of the brightness, but I felt like it was a little over heavy. Yeah, sugar skulls are so good, right? I agree. There is no such thing as too many skulls. Exactly. Oh, that's part of his neck. I'm an idiot. I thought it was part of his shirt. Before we finish doing the wash, or the contrast color, let me do this. Is that... Can I... Okay, hold on. I'm going to take him off camera for a second. Forgive me. I need to bring him up to my face. There we go. That's good. Now let's make sure to get the back side of his neck as well. And the underside of that ear. Yep. Good job, Angela. Nice. Nice. Oh wow, you missed the backside of his ear on the top though. Good job. And also that little section on his back of his head. There we go. There we go. Okay, so that's looking better. I have no idea what time it is. I can't read that. Let's check. It's 8:07. When did I start? Oh, we've been going for 3 hours. Hell yeah. I can't. It was so devastating that they took us out of it. I didn't really talk about it, I think, like, on stream much, because that was when my game was being a little janky because we were doing the co-op, but, like, it was genuinely a little sad to start off the game in really cool Mark 7 Firstborn armor, only to then immediately be stripped of it and put into Primaris armor. Like, don't get me wrong, Primaris armor is fun. There's some cool elements to it, but god dang it. The Emperor wanted me to be in Mark 7. And then they took me from it. Well, it does. It makes a great quasi-board game. Blood Bowl does. I think that's one of the reasons for, like, me, it hits the right volume of number of miniatures that I want to be on the field to scale of game really, really well. Also, you still get a lot of variety in your, like, heights, which is a big thing for me. Like, I love that kind of change in elevation when I'm looking at my miniatures, oddly enough. And so, and Blood Bowl still gives you that options, because there's plenty of, like, large miniatures. Like, for example, with the vampires, if I ever get the Vargeist, he'll be a very tall mini. And then I've got, like, my basic sized ones. But then I also have, like, the little bat balls, which are very small and adorable. I've also got, I can actually add in, like, the squirrel to my team if I really wanted to, which is still absolutely stupid to me, and I love it. And I need to get him. I need to get that star player at some point. Just because I think he literally can go with everybody. Am I wrong about that? Those of you that are a little bit more versed, ooh, whoa, punched my camera. A little bit more versed in Blood Bowl than I am. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I can't remember his name, that the squirrel just can be on anybody's team. Like, he is, I'm taking him over here for a second while I paint the back of his head, so it doesn't get some weird pooling or staining, because he's bald. But I believe he can, right? Like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm sure I think that's how it works. Oh, we're gonna do some cleanup. I let it pool. Damn it. It's fine. It's fine. It'll be worth it. It's fine. Let's just not let that pool hideously there, and then move that paint there. I'll give you a peek at how he's looking in just a second. I'm just moving paint around a little bit while it's still wet. I need to clean my brush. Oh, you know, one of the things, so the other thing is Blood Bowl actually has way more variety than I realized. When Red Panda sent me a bunch of stuff, in it, there were pitches for, like, a version of the game I actually had never heard of. There was a Sevens pitch in there, which I'm really excited for, because I've never tried Sevens, but I've heard it's really fun and it's a little bit of a faster paced version of the game. So I don't think I'll play it super often because I like the length that Blood Bowl tends to be. Green Lantern, welcome, hello. Okay, yes, I said I was like worried if I misread your name for a second. Hello and welcome to the stream. I hope you've been enjoying your time. But yeah, which one was it? I don't remember now. So it was 7s. I've got like multiple. I got by the way, that necromantic horror pitch. I wanted that when I first saw it come out and I never ended up getting it, but it's gonna be perfect because I have that team. They're already painted up. I'm super excited. But what was it? It wasn't Dungeon Bowl because I know like I'm familiar with that. I know Dungeon Bowl. I know Blitz Bowl. I know 7s. I know normal Blood Bowl. Gutter Bowl. Yeah, I didn't know what it like. That's the first time I had heard of that one, and I thought that was so cool because that one seems to be you're in like a city, like you're in like Altdorf or something like that, and you're actually playing it on the streets, which just sounds super cool. I didn't realize that one existed, and I wanted to ask, like, did that come out post or after Dungeon Bowl? Dungeon Bowl is great because that one takes you into a dungeon and has you play Blood Bowl and that, which really changes up your field, which is really cool. But I don't know what Gutter Bowl is. Like, what about it changes? Like, is it just a overworld version of Dungeon Bowl? Or is it different? Because the scale of the board, when folded up, because I haven't opened it yet to look at it, it seemed different. Did I forgot to paint this hand. I was like sitting there going, oh, I'm just letting it dry. It's cool that I'm just chatting with you guys right now. But no, there's one other thing I need to paint. Let's get that. Let's get him back on camera. Ooh. This hand. There is where the Old World Alliance versus Underworld Denizens, and it was about 18 months ago after Okay, so it's afterwards. All right, I don't remember. I must have like missed the announcement for that one because I don't like have any recollection of it. It looks cool. But yeah, it's Dungeon Bowl and City Streets. Oh god, it looks so fun. Because I've been able to because Chaos Cultist has gotten into the game with me recently. Thank you for subscribing, Green Lantern. Really appreciate a subscription. I hope you enjoy the content you find here. There's plenty of backlog for you to enjoy after the stream if you like this. And for anybody that is watching right now, if you are liking the stream, please do give the stream a like. And feel free to subscribe, just like Green Lantern did. Really appreciate it. It really helps the channel and just pushes it into the algorithms. Honestly, perspective so that they see it and show my videos to other people. So it really, really does help. Thank you guys so much. It was a Flash FOMO release. Got it. Hello, JM83. It's lovely to see you as well. Hope you're having a good evening. Renegade Disciple, you ask how many teams there have been so far. Okay. This is definitely not going to be all of them because I know that I will miss some. But off the top of my head, here's what I can think of, and chat can help us out here. We have the vampire team, which is what I'm currently working on. We have a gnome team, which is like a garden gnome style look. We also, I think, have a normal like halfling team. I believe there might be 2 of those because I knew there was one that was very food centric specifically that was relatively recent, and I think there's an older one as well that is like less food focused, but that does seem sort of weird for halflings because they're very food centric in general as a creature. There is going to be at least I think 2 different human teams. There's the Reichland something or another, because I've blanked on their name, which came in the starter set, along with the Black Orcs. But then there's also a separate human team that I don't think has the Reichland name, as well as a separate orc team that is sold separately as well. So there's at least 2 orc and at least 2 human teams. There's a dark elf team, there's a wood elf team, there is a high elf team. There is the Skaven team, but then there's also the Skaven team with the goblins, I believe. You've got the Chaos team. We have the Necromantic Horrors, which is a relatively new team, but they are a sort of Halloween-esque spooky team. You've got the Dwarves. Can't forget the Dwarves. They're very important. And I believe there's at least 2 different dwarf teams, but Red Panda can probably tell us if I'm wrong with that or not. But I know there's at least 1. Lizardmen. There's a Lizardmen team. And that is, off the top of my head, the one... Oh, there's a skeleton, like, undead team, which I don't think we've said before. And that is the number that I can remember off of the top of my head, which I think was at least a dozen plus teams. So there's a lot. There's a lot. There's also yes, we also just got the announcement of the Chaos Dwarf team. Absolutely correct, NCA, which looks fun. I'm very excited for them to come out. On top of that, there's just like a bazillion, not actually a bazillion. That's a massive overestimation of the number of them. But there are like, I don't know, what would you say, like 30 plus star players to choose from as well. So I would say there's at minimum probably like 20 or so, give or take, Blood Bowl teams that you could purchase on top of another like 30 or so star players. That's my rough estimate. I could be off. Oh, that's right! Because there's Nurgle, there's a Tzeentch team, there's a Slaanesh team, and there is a Khorne team. You're right. So each of the Chaos Gods also has a team. Red Panda, thank you for adding that in. Yeah, so I would say that there's probably at least 20 Blood Bowl teams minimum. But I feel like we're probably beyond that. Oh, are there 30-ish teams? Okay, see, I was wrong. We're at like 30-ish teams. So are we at like 40 or 50 star players then? Or was I correct with my 30-ish number with that too? Right? It's a really impressive. I mean, the game's been going since the 80s, I believe, right? If I'm not mistaken. Is this dried yet? It does look pretty dry, actually. Sweet. Let's do some highlights. Not with my broken brush. Can't believe the fennel came out. I'm going to have to glue that back in. Thank you for subscribing, Penny's Piss Stop. Piss Stop? Pit Stop. I can't read. Jesus Christ. It's late. I blame the fact that it's 8 p.m. and I have I'm terrible with names. I also have, it's also your text is very small. Not your text specifically, Pennies. Your text is fine. It's the same size as everybody else's in chat. Do not worry. But in general, it's on my phone and it's very small. And there's a reason I have glasses. You can pretty much make an army from... I mean, I know a lot of people who buy Blood Bowl teams for the bits because they want to use them in like their Age of Sigmar armies, but they want to play with more variety because they don't like how unified or consistent the armies just look as is from Games Workshop, so they'll combine them. And I've seen that done a lot. I know a lot of people were really excited when these vampires came out because it gave people alternate sculpts. Also, everybody really liked the boots, which I just thought was hilarious. They are very nice boots. Some of them have really good bats on them, like the like this guy. Like he's got the little wings on his boots, which is really fun. This one has these just great like swoop up that makes it also look sort of Batwing-ish, which is really cool. So there's a lot of fun stuff. Oh, that's true. Sigmar has made it, like they have gone to that heroic scale, haven't they? The same as like 40k with their Primaris. I forgot about that. That's so sad. Well, you can still use them with the humans at least. I would hope. Like your basic units, I would hope that you could still maybe buy bits from Blood Bowl for that. But yeah, I hadn't even thought about that. Man, that sucks. Games Workshop, why? It's an average size text. Yes, don't worry. It's an average size text. No one's judging you here. All right, that's looking pretty good. Let's do a little bit highlighting there. There. Nice. I overdid it. Hold on, let me get some Apothecary White. We're gonna wet blend. We're gonna wet blend to fix this, everybody. Let me actually get him on screen. There we go. Got the shadow that I wanted back. I might be slightly behind my camera for a moment as I work on highlighting his face. But I think you guys can see him pretty well, so enjoy. All right, let's do the back of his head now. Refocus. There we go. By keeping the top of the head relatively clean, it's going to give us a really high contrast on his face, which I think is going to work in my favor. I really like how that's looking. I'm going to pull him out over here and just like look at him under a different light, sorry. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. I'm going to clean up a little bit here on the side off camera. There we go. I think that looks a bit better, but I noticed one little spot on the back of his skull that I think will just be easier for me to continue to do off the screen for a second, so forgive me. Oh yeah, okay, that looks better. I need to switch my paper towel. I'm getting so much... I cleaned up my desk, and then I realized that I left a bunch of little... the flowers that I was using as the tufting are on my paper towel that I've been wiping my brush on, and I keep occasionally seeing some of those little fibers appear in my paint, and I'm like, where is this coming from? That's where it's coming from. Let me fold this and like trap them inside and hopefully prevent that from being a problem as much now. There we go. Oh yeah, the Nosferatu from the like old vampire flicks. Absolutely. Yeah, no, that's what he's sort of inspired by, but he's such a pretty version of the Nosferatu. Like, yeah, I understand his face is like a little like but he's so like not misshapen and he's so symmetrical that I'm like, he's the most handsome Nosferatu that I've ever seen. If I ran into this Nosferatu on the streets in a Vampire the Masquerade game, I would not be concerned nearly as much if I actually ran into the Nosferatu that they described the Nosferatu looking like in that game. Okay, I'm pretty happy with how his flesh is looking, so I'm going to go ahead and move off of that. I might do a little bit of touch-up tomorrow when I can re-inspect him with a little bit more like natural light in here, because right now I've just got all of my lights, as opposed to my sunlight, which I clearly control the sun. I feel like that's what I implied right there. Thank you for subscribing to the channel, Merrick Bedwell. It's lovely to have you. White. That's what we need. That's true. Also, yeah, we didn't even talk about all of the unofficial teams that you can get. Is it Punja? Punga, I believe it is. Or something similar to that. I might be missing one letter in this person's name, but I believe they are a 3D artist who sells their STLs / may even sell their miniatures, but I want to say, I know they definitely sell their files of their sculpts, and they make a huge variety of Blood Bowl miniatures, from my understanding. There's an artist that I follow on Instagram called Left-Hand Painting, or Left-Handed Painting? Left-Handed Painting. He paints such cool looking Blood Bowl teams. That's like all he paints. It's not all he paints. He does paint some Space Marines from every now and then. But like Blood Bowl is his jam. That's one of the reasons I followed him, because I just loved seeing all this stuff. And he paints some of his stuff sometimes, this Punjik artist. And I hope I'm saying the name correctly. I'm hoping getting that accurate. Okay, good. I'm glad I'm saying it correctly. I was hoping I was. So yeah, I am not super familiar with this stuff. I've looked at their catalog a little bit back in the day when I think they were releasing a Skaven team at the time, or like some sort of Ratman team. But yeah, I really, really like their stuff. And I want to print some once I get my 3D printer set back up down in my garage. Like, that's going to be actually one of the first things that I want to do. I have some terrain ideas that I want to print, and I have some Blood Bowl teams that I want to print. Because I'm also hoping, and you guys can actually tell me if you're a little bit more familiar with Punja's stuff. And am I pronouncing that correctly? Is it Punga or is it Punja? Please tell, like, is it Punga, the first one? Number 1, Punga? Or number 2, Punja? Tell me in the chat. But do you know if they have cheerleaders? Because I'm not always satisfied with Games Workshop's versions of the cheerleaders. I would like a little bit more variety, although the orcs are great. But I would also like some other orc cheerleaders. Basically, I'm looking for cheerleaders. Do they have cheerleaders? Also, you said Brute Fun is also a good one. Do they also do 3D prints for their Blood Bowl teams? I'll have to take a look at them. I don't know if I'm as familiar with them as I am. Punga is how I'm assuming it's pronounced. Were they OP? Were the Chaos Dwarves pretty OP in the original Blood Bowl game? I mean, I feel like the more that we've gotten into these late game teams, like the Vampires, for example, and the Chaos Dwarves potentially, that yeah, it does seem like a lot of these are the more advanced teams and therefore the more powerful teams. And can be made real powerful, real fast, with some basic upgrades, which is really nice. Okay, let's get a little bit of white paint on his shirt. Then maybe actually get the wash done, potentially, too. Where are we at? Oh, sorry. I need to... Chaos Cultist is asking me to pick one. One moment, chat. I must pick a thumbnail. Ooh. Oh, that's actually a really hard choice. Ooh. Do you guys want to A/B test a thumbnail for me? Do you want to help me, chat? Okay, I have 2 thumbnails that I'm gonna show you. You're gonna see mini me in the corner. How do I do this? I'm gonna bring you back up. Okay. Oop. Fuck, I don't know what I just did. Are we okay? You still see things. Okay, good. All right, so I ignore mini me in the corner. That's just the stream that I'll pop back into. So I want to see which of these thumbnails you prefer. I'm moving my camera so that the ring light's not creating a gigantic ring around the image. So here's the first one. My team with me showing my cool fangs. I had fangs in earlier today. I left them in way longer than like I even needed to because I was just enjoying having them in. I am going to be using them way more regularly because they were so fun and actually really easy to deal with. Although I do need to clean them out because they have like a cement in them now. So this is the first one. So this is thumbnail 1. Okay. Do you like this thumbnail better? Just moving. Oh, sorry. There's the focus. Or do you like this thumbnail better? Do you like the close-up? Because I'm actually torn. I'm actually really torn. So close-up or the one with me further away? That's what I'm debating between right now, and I'm actually like super, I don't know which one I like. Let me get back into the stream so I can actually see your answers. STL for download, okay. They sell sideline staff, that's awesome. Grebo is another good game. Or Grebo Games is also good, excellent. You like the second one with you further away? I have also a second one with further away. Okay, I was leaning towards that one a little bit myself. I kind of liked the full body. I thought it looked really nice, but I wanted your opinion because I do kind of like the teeth showing, and I like the close-up of that because I was really proud of how well I did them. But I get your point, and you guys are leaning towards the second one, so I am going to go with that, and that's the one I'm going to tell Chaos Cultist that I pick because I also think that's the better one. All right. White paint. I put a whole bunch of white paint in my palette. This is my broken one, isn't it? Yes, it is. Where's my good one? Where's my good brush? Where is my good brush? There it is. It's underneath you guys. I put you on it. How dare I? Okay. Whoop. Spilling water everywhere. Vampire. Focus. What's a good angle for this? This is a good angle. Let's start here. Tommy, I did enjoy Space Marine 2. I thought it was super fun. I also felt like it was, without spoilers, I love the ending. I'm excited for where it's leading to because it does sound like we're getting a third game, and I'm very optimistic for that. Hopefully it doesn't take another 12 fucking years. But I am looking forward to it regardless. And I really just felt like there were some good payoffs in the game. So I appreciate the team. Also, genuinely, some of the just background character dialogue that was said as you're wandering around either the environments for the missions themselves, but most often when you're back on the battle barge talking with the captain and getting your mission updates and all of that stuff and checking in with the chaplain and such. There was a lot of scenes that you could like stumble upon / conversations you could stumble upon, and every single one of them felt like they came directly out of a Black Library novel, and that to me was just so cool and extremely appreciated and very well done. So yeah, absolutely loved it. Absolutely loved it. Would 100% recommend. I hope they get the servers stabilized so that co-op works a bit better. That's my only real major disappointment. I love the story, love everything that they've put into it. The combat felt great, all of that. But I wish the servers were a bit more stable so that co-op worked a bit better. I'm sure that'll be fixed, but it's something that that's like my only like initial disappointment. I'm just going to be quiet for a moment because I'm concentrating on making sure to not get this white paint on too many things. It won't be like the end of the world if it happens, but I'm trying to minimize as much repainting of other colors that I've already done as I can. And when that happens, I sometimes just get a little focused and quiet. That's awesome. That's not surprising to me, honestly. I think the game was really good at introducing you to the world, and I do think it's pretty spot on for the way that they describe it in lore. I think that in the miniatures I love the miniatures. I have loved the miniatures for many years. So more power to you for going out and buying some. What are you going to paint them as? Are you deciding to go with the ultramarine look, or are you going to try something else? I know that there was a lot of color options and other chapters to be able to play with in the PvE and PvP stuff. So I'm curious, like, who were you inspired by? Who are you going to paint your chapter after? The teeth do look, they absolutely do. The nice thing is there's plenty of opportunity for close-ups of the teeth in the video itself, so I completely agree with you guys on the second one in regards to the thumbnail. Okay, so that looks pretty good. We're gonna rotate him there. Do the top side. Very careful, we need to clean up some red, but we don't want to go too much into... Oh. It's fine, the red is actually the easier one to clean up than even the black is. There we go. I think that's looking pretty good. You'll be going with the Ultramarines to start with? Excellent. They are a fantastic color scheme. And honestly, the game made the Ultramarines look really, really, really cool. So just for context, the reason that I asked and why I was wondering if you were going with Ultramarine or if you were doing one of the other chapters is because sometimes in the community there's a joke that the Ultramarines, and this is not actually the joke part of it, this is true. The Ultramarines are the poster children of Games Workshop. They use them most frequently of all of the chapters for the Space Marines. So the community has then made the joke that they're the Smurfs. They often sometimes call them that because they're blue, you know, and because Games Workshop just like shoves them down our throats very often. And because of that, sometimes there are points in their history where they've been very uncool, but holy shit, did Space Marine 2 make the Ultramarines cool again? Titus and his entire squad, everybody involved, oh my goodness, they are so good. It's great to see. Like, I love it because I think I like making fun of the Ultramarines, but deep down, I've always loved them, and it was so cool to see. Well, I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say. I'm not gonna spoil. I know there's some people who probably still haven't played it yet, and I don't want to like. I don't want to talk spoilers. I don't want to tell you who shows up to help you fight. Near the end, and it's super fucking cool and wigged out. But it was awesome, and it really made the Ultramarines cool. So I'm excited for you. If you end up posting it on social media, like specifically Instagram, feel free to tag me at Hobby Night, at hobby_night. Sorry, at hobby_night. I was trying to think of my username for a second, and I used the wrong thing. And that will tag me, and that way I can see it, because I would love to see it. All right, let's get him back in line. We're going to focus on his hand a bit more now. So there we go. There we go. Nice. How have you guys been enjoying the longer stream? I've been trying to push myself and go a little bit longer and not like puss out. And I'm curious, like, are you guys enjoying it? Are you glad to have the longer stream? Is it tiring? Do you get bored? I hope you're not bored. But do let me know if you are, because that can, that can help me adjust things in the future. So let me know how you're enjoying it. Yes, you can absolutely have players on the bench. I believe, so most Blood Bowl boxes will come with, I believe, 12 or 14, 12 to 14 players in them. It depends on what team it is. And you don't use all of them. So for example, I have 11 guys. Sorry, I have a team built. I have paid for, because you buy your team. I have paid for 8 linemen, a single blitzer, 2 vampire throwers, and 1 runner. That is what I have gone with for my team. And then I've gotten some upgrades for them, because we're not doing a league, we're doing a tournament, which means that I can actually spend some of my money on actually upgrading my guys, which I'm super doing and I'm excited for. I've also got like 4 rerolls, which you have to pay for as well. And then I think I bought an apothecary for my vampires and or linemen, depending on who I decide I need them for. However, the box that I bought, or that I was gifted, I didn't buy it. The box that I was given of vampires has an additional runner and an additional blitzer that I am not using on my team, in my game. Like, I'm not physically buying them for the squad or for the team. I also, when I'm actually playing my games, I'd have one of my thralls off to the sidelines in case somebody dies, so that I can bring him in and help prevent my vampires from going crazy, because my vampires need to eat. And the thralls are there for that if there are no enemies around for them to punch. NCA, well, that's awesome to hear. I will try to do more long streams. We'll keep trying to do that. It's been nice because there's been like consistently, and I just want to thank you guys for this. There's been like legitimately consistently at least like 25 plus of you this entire time, with very like few in-betweens of that. So, which is just awesome. Like that level of consistency always blows me away. Like I know it's not like a super huge number, but to me that is still like, that's great. That is a awesome amount of people, and you guys are active, and I appreciate you being active in chat. I hope I've done a better job of like keeping an eye on you, because I know sometimes I'm like get really focused on what I'm doing and I just completely ignore you for a little bit of time, and I always feel terribly guilty when I do that. This has actually been helping because I can put my phone here and keep an eye. I see when messages pop in a little bit more. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, because players definitely will die. They definitely will die. It's also nice to have people on the bench in case they get injured and can't come back in. Because, like, sometimes, depending on what you roll on, like, the injury or the casualty table, they'll be taken out and they can be brought back in the next round. But sometimes they get so knocked out that they can't be brought back in until the next game that you play. If you're playing, like, a league or something like that. which is tough sometimes. Which is why I have brought extra thralls in case that happens. Good. Well, I'm glad that you've been enjoying the later evening start times as well. All right, let's go ahead. This is an instance. As I want to make sure I get your name correct, because that would be rude. Rudy. This is an instance, Rudy, where I might actually use the camera a bit more for what I'm doing, and this is gonna be precarious because it's a delicate procedure. But I feel like it's easier for me to see the thing that I'm painting on the camera than it is for me to see it in real life right now because I'm trying to show it to you guys. So you see that line that's in between the elbow panel and the elbow armor and then his gauntlet. We're gonna paint that with some white paint, and I'm gonna try to use the camera to do it because it'll be easier. But I need to re-wet my brush a little bit because the paint had sort of dried, and that would not bode well for this process. We want as fresh a paint as possible. So wish me luck. You know, actually, I can see it from this angle. So I know I said I was going to use the camera. Oh, no, I should have. I saw that I got it. Okay. I can see. Get off there. Get off there. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Clean brush and a little bit of water in the bristles will do wonders to help you lift paint. I can touch up that corner with a little bit more black paint. That won't be a problem. It shouldn't look too weird. But let's try this one more time. Okay, I think that looks good. I have a little bit of touch up on the black armor to do. It was a little annoying, but it'll be fine. It will be fine. Oh my gosh, it's almost 9 o'clock. I hadn't realized. Holy shit. Okay. Because we are literally 10 minutes from 9 and I still need to prep all of my posts for tomorrow's social media to go live, I'm going to go ahead and call it, I think. We made some really good progress. I am super glad to have all of my linemen completely done now. They are tufted. They are done. And that feels great. I have made some really good progress on the blitzer. Here, let me go ahead and show him to you. I love how his face is looking. I'm going to do, I think, a little bit of touch up with some apothecary. And I will be painting his eyes, giving him some red eyes and such like that later, so that'll look really good. But really, he's getting close to finished. I need to do a little bit more white cleanup on the shirt, give that a quick wash, and he will literally be done. And we just need to base him, and that will be super easy and honestly one of my fun parts. And then I can start moving on to this lad, who's my other thrower, who I've worked on a little bit. I did do the underside of his cloak because I decided to do a dark red. And I had a bunch of it made up, so I just went ahead and painted as many people as I could. And I just have a runner after that to paint, which I should get done relatively quickly. I've gotten very confident with this paint scheme and what I'm doing with it in the process of it, so it's really sped up the process. It's why the blitzer and the thrower actually got done relatively quickly, and why I started with the lineman so that I could practice the color scheme on there and figure out what the fuck I wanted to do with it and how I needed to approach it to make painting the vampires, which I care about more, a lot easier and just like a smoother process. So I hope that you guys have enjoyed today's stream. Like I said, genuinely, it's been awesome to hang out with you tonight. I'm glad you guys have enjoyed the longer stream. I will continue to do that. Tomorrow, I will be live back here on the main channel starting at 1 p.m. We will be painting some more. By that point, if we're not working on his whites still, which I ideally, hopefully will not be, I have some gym stuff that I want to do tomorrow because it's Friday and I'm trying to go 3 times a week. But I should get him done in the morning, I hope. And we should be at least to the basing portion for him. So we might be doing some like texture paint, but we should be on to him tomorrow. So that's going to be the plan. And I will be getting my runner primed. That will be happening relatively soon. Literally tomorrow. I'm going to ask Chaos Cultist to do it for me in the morning because he's better at priming than I am. I always end up with a weird texture somewhere on my models. I don't know what I do wrong, but I always do. There's always something wrong. But yeah, I'm really enjoyed this, but we'll be back again, like I said, tomorrow, 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I hope to see you. The reason we're not doing a late night stream, I know that you guys do enjoy the late night streams a bit more, but tomorrow night I will be over at a game store for my International Plastic Modeler Society Club, where I'm actually hoping to bring the team and show them off and show people what I've been working on. So that will be really fun, but that is the plan. That's why we're not doing an evening stream tomorrow. But regardless, I hope to see you in the afternoon. I almost yawned there at the end. I'm really sorry. It's late. I'm tired. You'll have to forgive me. But I'm going to go work on posts and then probably head to bed. Have a good evening, everybody. I've been Angela, and I hope you have a wonderful hobby night. Bye, everybody.